Welcome to the Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance Company's pregame show. Hey everyone, I'm Jessica Pomeroy. Last night was Halloween, but our teams tonight are still playing hard for a big treat of playing in the Dome for a championship. Tonight we'll get to take a look at a second look at several teams that have had impressive showings on the Cox 4 Game of the Week. The Denham Springs Yellow Jackets are coming off last night's disappointing loss to U High and are looking to come up big against the Zachary Broncos. The HL Bourgeois Braves are looking to stand tall against the Destrehan Wildcats. But right now, let's head out to Crowley for our final homecoming game of the season for the matchup between the Notre Dame Pioneers and the North Vermilion Patriots. Troy LaBeouf and Joel Davis are standing by on more for what's to come when the whistle sounds. Guys, a big matchup tonight for an undefeated team. Tell us about tonight's game.
Trick or treat is behind us, but there'll be a surprise tonight. North Vermilion and Notre Dame. North Vermilion trying to surprise the Notre Dame Pios at the homecoming game here in Crowley. I'm Troy LaBeouf along with my partner Joel Davis. Emily Massey will be on the sideline. Joe, I tell you what, we got a good matchup tonight. District championship on the line. Both teams 3-0.
Yeah, no question. This is a very important game for both teams. Obviously, this is Notre Dame's homecoming game, so they're very excited about this opportunity. You can see the girls. They're all ready for a huge football game tonight. And look, North Vermilion will have their hands full against a very, very talented Notre Dame football team.
Absolutely. Got some really good players on both sides as well, Joe. Let's take a look at North Vermilion. They have a good linebacker, number 54, Colin Vaughn.
Oh, he's very special. He's one of those guys that gets after the ball. He tackles very, very well. One of the leading tacklers on this football team, 53 tackles on the season. Leads the team, and, you know, look, it's a young man that can wreak havoc on offenses. You have to get a hat on him and block him throughout this game. You cannot let him dominate on the defensive side of the football.
Well, you know, we've been talking to Coach this week about Colin Vaughn, just a hard-nosed, good high school football player. On the other side, Coach Louis Cook has a good one as well, a 3-year starter in the secondary, number 18, Gavin Bourgeois.
Yeah, free safety, gets after it as well, can pick the football off, can take it to the house at any opportunity. If he gets his hands on the football tonight from the safety position, I can assure you he's not going to be tackled. He's going to try to take it to the house. Just a very, very talented football player on the defensive side of the football. And look, he's a guy that the coach can trust and depend on.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the coaches tonight, Joel. Obviously, a Hall of Fame coach on one side and a very up-and-coming coach on the other side. Let's talk about Coach Louis Cook first.
Well, you said it, Hall of Fame guy, very nice to talk to, very forthcoming when it comes to talking about his football team. He is a Hall of Famer. He is one of the guys that will go down in the Louisiana Hall of Fame as one of the greatest high school football coaches that has ever come through Louisiana. And look, last year not very satisfied with what happened in the Dome, not finishing the season off with a championship. This year, he is looking for a championship.
Yeah, they won 2 state championships with him as the head coach at Notre Dame. On the other side, Coach Tommy Byler, 17-14 record coming into this season, but a very talented young coach.
Well, he's building a program. That's his goal. He wants to build a program. His 4th year, you know, he's right around that 500 mark, but I can assure you that he's getting better each and every year. And look, they're not completely pleased with this season, but tonight's a big opportunity for them to take a step in the right direction.
Talking to Coach Byler during the weekend before the game, he's talking about just wanting to stay on the field with these guys, but he's got to feel like with the quality of his team, a district championship on the line, they got to be real fired up about tonight.
Oh, of course, and it's homecoming for the Pios, so they don't want to be embarrassed on television tonight during the Notre Dame. Yeah, that's right. They can tell you they're not coming here to be embarrassed and just be a homecoming win. They're coming in here to this game to compete tonight, like you said, for a district championship and for an opportunity for a district championship. They're coming in here with their best game of the season, I can assure you.
It's homecoming. It's Notre Dame and North Vermilion, the district championship. Ladies, take us out of here. We'll throw to Jeff and Jason. We're at Zachary.
We are at the Bronco Corral for homecoming for the Zachary Broncos in this district matchup with the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets. Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Palermo along with Jason DeQueer, and this should be a great football game. Zachary comes in with a record of 5-3. Denham Springs 3-5, but their last last 3 losses have been to some of the toughest teams in the state. They do have a good running back and a big offensive line. And earlier tonight, we talked with head football coach Drew Nettles about taking advantage of their ground and pound attack. Tell us what your game plan is tonight.
Well, the game plan is, do what we do. That's going to run the football. We need to be physical. We have a size advantage as we have a very large offensive line, as most people know. And, we need to control the football, but we got to score. We can't have possessions that get 30, 40, 50 yards on the ground, a couple passes, and get down there and stall inside the 30. We got to get in the end zone. You play spread offense, Zachary does a great job. They're going to be a challenge for our defense. They'll score points. So we got to make sure we score, we get opportunities, and play a good, clean football game.
Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Well, Jason, we had a chance to see Denham Springs last week against U High, and Anthony Bracey, he really did have a nice game.
Yeah, Anthony Bracey is your big bruising type of running back. He's 5'9", about 200 pounds. He's got over 7 touchdowns on the season, nearly 500 yards, and they want to line him up behind this big offensive line at Denham Springs and really pound the football and get him going tonight.
One thing Denham Springs needs to stay away from, turnovers, and they had some special team meltdowns in that game against U High. Now for the Zachary Broncos, as you can tell by the festive atmosphere, it's homecoming, and we spoke with Coach Neil Weiner about that earlier tonight. Another nice defensive performance last week. Tell us how this unit has really evolved as the season has gone on.
Well, I tell you, they just play extremely hard. I mean, we're undersized. I think tonight their front 7 or 8 has us outmanned by about 90 pounds a person. So, we got a big challenge in front of us tonight, but they just play extremely hard. They love each other. They play hard for each other, and they have fun playing football.
What would a win on homecoming night mean?
Well, that'd be a big deal. Around here, homecoming is it's a unique experience, to say the least. There's a lot of distractions going on. I think we've only won 1 homecoming game in the last 4 seasons, so we'd like to buck that trend.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Jason, we saw Zachary a few weeks ago get a big win over Plaquemine. They were a little short-handed in that game, but tonight they will have Forest Town and also Keon Brown.
Yeah, Keon Brown's actually started off playing quarterback for Zachary, but he's going to return to his true position, a running back. He had a concussion earlier in the season, but now that he's back at the running back position, last week he rushed for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then to have a complement of Forest Town backing him up is going to be a real positive for the Zachary Bronco offense tonight.
And this is a good Zachary defense. Last week against Walker, they held them to 9 points. So they've played really well tonight, but they might be a little bit undersized defensively going up against a big Denham Springs offensive line. It should be a good one. Let's check out on our 3rd broadcast of the night. For that, we go to Destrehan. Eric Ritchie and Brandon Rizzuto. Guys, take it away.
Guys, thanks so much. Here at Destrehan High School, I'm Eric Ritchie alongside Brandon Rizzuto, getting ready for a District 9 5A tilt between the Destrehan Wildcats and HL Bourgeois Braves. Obviously, a tough week for Destrehan off the field. This Wildcat team couldn't be more ready to just get on this field, Brandon, and play some football.
Absolutely. This football game serves as a chance to really move on from this past week and get back out on the football field and, just like I said, just move on and play a game.
We won't be discussing it much, but 5 assistant coaches won't be with us tonight. And again, all 5 of those guys, and we do riverparishfootball.com. I'm pretty close with the Destrehan program. All 5 I consider friends and certainly can vouch for these guys as far as great workers and great guys as well. One of the 5 actually replaced you, Brandon, in the booth in the playoffs for Cox Forest. Let's move past that. Let's talk about the Destrehan Wildcats as a football team. They had to forfeit that game last week against South Lafourche. Other than that, they are unscathed and one of the best teams in the state.
Oh, no doubt. This team is loaded with talent, a chance to showcase that talent once again here on the Cox 4 Game of the Week. Donovan Isom, great quarterback. He's got a host of receivers, not to mention pretty stout on defense. This Destrehan Wildcat football team is for real.
On both sides of the ball, Isom 25 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. As far as their opponent tonight, the HL Bourgeois Braves, they have not won a game this season, but we find out more from their head coach, a first-year head coach, Darren Franklin.
Well, yeah, we have a lot of young guys that are competing, representing the HLB community. Right now, we're growing, and the kids are really responding to what we're trying to instill. At a short amount of time, these young men have grown leaps and bounds. The biggest thing is for us to be able to compete tonight for 4 quarters.
A couple of injuries in the backfield. We're going to see a sophomore get his first start running the ball.
Yes, you will. A young man by the name of Victor Steele, one of the hardest working guys on our football team, has a promising future, and we look forward to him gaining experience tonight as he's done all season.
I know we talked earlier in the week, you guys continue to show improvements, but realizing these established programs in this newfound Bayou District, you're going to take your lumps, and certainly this Destrehan team, what a challenge tonight, Coach.
Big challenge. They have skilled guys all over that can, one-hitter quitters, but at the same time, my guys are going to compete. And I took this job because I knew it was a challenge in this district, and I want to build a program and young men that can be successful.
We wish you the best. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Harry. All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Y'all have a good one.
Looking forward to find out what this HL Bourgeois team is all about as, again, the teams up here in the River Parish, the 5A teams, getting back together with the old Bayou District, HL Bourgeois, Terrebonne, Thibodaux, of course, those teams in 5A as well. Back to Destrehan, we saw them week 5 against Hahnville light it up against their rivals, scoring 42 points in the first half alone in a 49-0 shutout. Brandon, this team is unbelievably dynamic. We talked about Isom. He's got receivers all over the place.
Oh, he's got a lot of receivers. He had a chance last year to see him, and this year I missed out on that first game. I'm looking forward to seeing him here tonight, much as our audience is as well.
Guys like Kirk Merrick, Alfred Smith, certainly some of the receivers. Will Matthews will be toting the rock for the Destrehan Wildcats, and defensively, maybe the best defensive player in all the River Parishes, a Tulane commit, Rajon Marbley. This team's for real.
Oh yeah, we talked about that just a little while ago, how this team is for real. Defensively, this is what makes this football team go. There's a lot of firepower, but hey, offense sells tickets, defense wins championships.
Putting distractions behind them. That's what the Destrehan Wildcats are all about tonight as they move forward. We'll have the game later. Haley's back with more from Destrehan. Jessica, that's all for now. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Eric. A little earlier, you heard Joel mention about a Hall of Fame, and this one's a little bit different. When we return, we'll hear from the founder of the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame, Mike Shepard. Keep it right here.
Insurance commercials have become unusually funny. We think that's strange because we take auto coverage pretty seriously at Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Of course, when you cover as many vehicles in Louisiana as we do, it doesn't leave a lot of time for silly gimmicks. We're more concerned about what happens to you on the road than any chicken that happens to cross it just to make you chuckle. Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Enjoy the sweet life at Comfort Suites Oil Center, Lafayette's newest all-suite hotel. You can always count on spacious guest rooms, affordable rates, and true Southern hospitality. Plenty of extras such as hot buffet breakfast, free high-speed internet, exercise room and swimming pool, and a well-appointed conference room. Call for reservations today at 337-456-8390 or visit us online at www.choicehotels.com. Comfort Suites Hotel in Lafayette, 114 Rue Ferdinand, off Pinhook behind Chili's.
Hello, I'm Eric Edwards with the Livingston Parish Convention and Visitors Bureau. Find out now what's going on in Livingston Parish. We have over 400 nautical miles of waterways. Tee it up at our great world-renowned golf courses. Shop at our antique districts, or come to Bass Pro, our #1 retailer. There's a lot to do in Livingston Parish that you never imagined. It's all happening right here in Livingston Parish. For more information, go online at visitlivingstonparish.com.
For over 40 years, Louisiana's original coffee put the joie into vie with its big, rich flavor. Now, Mellow Joy is back, and people are waking up to the original Cajun coffee. At work, the joy continues with a full line of satisfying coffees. Dark roast, between roast, medium roast, and decaffeinated. Of course, some people take their joy where their work takes them. Our best restaurants have discovered Mellow Joy as the perfect ending to a fine meal. Experience pure joy, Mellow Joy coffee.
Welcome back, everyone. We all know that Louisiana is home to some of the most talented players to take the field. But there are a few other things, of course, that we know how to do really well, like music and festivals. Blair Bainey is standing by with founder and executive director of the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame, Mike Shepard.
Jessica, I'm here talking to Mike Shepard from the Greater Baton Rouge State Fair and from the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame, and you're telling me a lot going on at the fair this week, right?
There's a lot going on. Tomorrow night we got a great kid from Shreveport, Matthew Davidson, very up and coming, works with a lot of our Hall of Famers up there. Tomorrow night we got Mojo and the band, the Bayou Gypsies. This guy plays all over the world. Great act, very seldom plays at home. And Sunday we have one of our favorites, Louisiana's LaRue. If you haven't heard New Orleans Ladies, or you have, and just come see, they're great concert band.
And you were telling me this past week, your band actually got to play, and it was an awesome experience, right?
Well, the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame band played with River Road, all Hall of Famers. It was just a tremendous show. We had Greg Wright, another Hall of Famer, out on Wednesday night. Great show. A little bit of rain issue last night, but the rain is gone. This is the last weekend of the fair, and we want everybody to come out and enjoy the fair and enjoy some great music and Louisiana Music Hall of Fame artists.
And there's still a lot of time to do that. If you haven't been to the fair yet, there's tomorrow and there's Sunday. People can go. And what times is the fair open?
I think the weekends it's going to open around 10 a.m., but they'll be out there till at least 9 o'clock tomorrow and Sunday, maybe 10 o'clock tomorrow. And there's going to be no rain, great weather, nice cool nights.
And just in case, tell everyone where the fairgrounds are located.
You go down Airline Highway pretty much until you hit Ascension Parish. It's on the right side going south, and you can't miss it. There's plenty of blue lights in the cop cars to get you in there.
And there is a website people can get tickets, right?
gbrsf.com.
All right, thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you, dear.
All right, well, we've been talking a lot this season about the new Contour from Cox, and Jason Ferret got to go and find out more about it when he visited a newly renovated Customer Experience Center. Let's take a look.
I'm pleased to be here at a Cox Solution Store with Brian Clinton in our sales department. I've been around a long time when we had 2-button set-top box, but now we have the most exciting product ever, Contour from Cox. Brian, tell us about it.
Basically with Contour from Cox, it's a personal viewing experience from Cox. You have a couple different options as far as what's involved with Contour. We have 3 parts to it, basically. You have a app recommendation engine. You also have a guide that's built into it. Then you also have a 6-box tuner that allows you to record 1,000 hours of, standard definition TV. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. The personal recommendation engine gives you the option to view. Instead of going through and just searching for things, you're able to actually go through there, and it recommends things for you that you might want to view that you may be interested in. The apps are another thing that are good with the actual Contour. I'm able to sit outside now when I'm working out and watch ESPN as I go.
Show us some of it if you would.
Okay, we can start off with, it does have a library of apps here for you. As you can see, you have HBO Go, ESPN here built into it, NFL Network, a lot of different things. When you slide over here, you have a guide. The guide will actually show you, this is just a demo, but the guide will actually show you different pictures on your, depending on what you're into. If your personal shows out there that you're really into, it'll actually have a picture to show, so you don't have to actually scan through the guide. You can see it. It's a more personal experience that way. You also have the on-demand feature that's built into the guide also. As you can see here, you have live streaming shows. You can basically go to the demand feature of it while you're watching TV. It'll also allow you to, send this on-demand stuff directly to your TV. So if you're outside watching TV and you decide you want to walk in, it'll allow you to send it from the device actually onto your TV.
That is great. It is cox.com/contour, Contour from Cox. Brian, thank you so much for being with us. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Jason. That's a great new look. Maybe I'll stop by a Cox Customer Experience Center for a closer look at Contour and to see what other gadgets they might have in store. When we return, we'll have more of the pregame show and more from the guys at Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Many will hear the calling.
Move it! Yes, sir!
Few will earn the title United States Marine. The few, the proud Marines.
Insurance commercials have become unusually funny. We think that's strange because we take auto coverage pretty seriously at Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance.
Of course, when you cover as many vehicles in Louisiana as we do, it doesn't leave a lot of time for silly gimmicks. We're more concerned about what happens to you on the road than any chickens that happen to cross it just to make you chuckle. Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Enjoy the sweet life at Comfort Suites Oil Center, Lafayette's newest all-suite hotel. You can always count on spacious guest rooms, affordable rates, and true Southern hospitality. Plenty of extras such as hot buffet breakfast, free high-speed internet, exercise room and swimming pool, and a well-appointed conference room. Call for reservations today at 337-456-8390 or visit us online at www.choicehotels.com. Comfort Suites Hotel in Lafayette, 114 Rue Ferdinand, off Pinhook behind Chili's.
I go to work every day, and I love doing what I'm doing, and I love being a part of Livingston Parish, and to be elected sheriff, to be able to lead Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office is just such an honor for me, and so I'm very excited about not only where we're at today, but where we're going to be at in the future. The parish is so special to the citizens. They work with the Sheriff's Office, they trust the Sheriff's Office. Our community stands behind us 100%, and they get involved. They don't want crime in Livingston Parish.
Welcome back. This week in our sponsor spotlight, we'll go to Peak Performance for more insight on therapy techniques that they use to treat a variety of injuries that they see. Let's take a look.
Thank you. I'm standing here with Jason Green, a partner of Peak Performance Physical Therapy. He's here to tell us about the cutting-edge new technology of ASTEM. Jason, what is ASTEM?
Well, Emily, what ASTEM is it's a tool-assisted soft tissue technique where we identify adhesions in the body, muscle adhesions, tendinitis, tendinosis type injuries that people have in muscles and tendons and the collagen that makes up those muscles. And we basically mobilize that tissue. Mobilization means movement. So it's a system of treatment whereby we identify the injury and then we mobilize the tissue through some special tools that we have, and then we start them off on a stretching and flexibility program, and that just facilitates the normal body's healing. The way the science works behind it is that your body has blood flow and cells in the blood, so we're facilitating that blood to bring healing agents to the body, and in turn stretching the tissue and allowing people to get back to their normal life, whether it's walking the block or playing in a sport or whatever their normal activities are. It's a way to get the muscle healed properly so it can reduce the risk of injury.
Thank you. And what type of clients or athletes do you see most that you're having to perform ASTEM on?
We see it on anybody that has a tendinitis injury, like athletes, football players, basketball players, cheerleaders, dancers. Anybody like that has an injury from muscle overuse. We see that in the most population is what we see it in that population. The other population we see it a lot in is people that haven't maybe exercised and they start an exercise program. They don't stretch properly, they're not as loose as they should be, and then they get a little overuse thing to get started. And so it's really anybody that's active can get tendinitis or tissue breakdown. We do see it some in older adults that have tendons that are kind of breaking down a little bit. We need to facilitate the body to heal those too. So you're really not immune to overuse injuries if you're active. Typically, most patients we're seeing 2 to 3 days a week and for 4 to 6 weeks. Our goal short term is within 8 to 10 visits they're seeing immediate benefit, and then the next few visits we're transitioning to their own program and independent healthy living.
Thank you so much, Jason, for informing us and the rest of our viewers a little bit more on the ASTEM procedure.
Thank you for having me.
And back to you.
I've actually had that done before, but we called it the scraping method because of the technique, and it actually really does heal injuries. For more information on this treatment, though, or any of the other services offered by Peak Performance, you can visit their website at peakphysicaltherapy.com. Now let's head over to Wildcat Stadium, where Haley Acero is standing by with our friends in the United States Marine Corps.
Thanks so much, Jessica. It's always a pleasure to be joined by one of our sponsors here at the Cox 4 Game of the Week. And joining me now is Staff Sergeant Munoz from the United States Marine Corps. Staff Sergeant Munoz, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, first, let's talk about the relationship and the partnership between the Cox 4 Game of the Week and the Marine Corps. Why is it such an important one?
It's extremely important because Cox 4 allows the local community to see that the Marines, your local Marines, are involved in the community, whether it be with music departments or athletic programs.
Now, say I'm a junior or senior in high school, I go off to college, I get a degree. Coming out of college, can I go directly into an officer rank?
The best thing that I could tell any junior or senior who aspires to be a Marine Corps officer is to get with the enlisted recruiter. The reason being is because there is a huge stigma in the local community that tell these kids to go directly to college to become an officer. Well, few people can lead leaders, and the officer corps in the Marine Corps is extremely competitive. There's 5 different commissioning programs, so your best bet would be to get with that enlisted recruiter, and we're going to get you to that end goal of becoming an officer through one of our 5 different commissioning programs.
Okay, now there are a wide variety of job opportunities within the Marine Corps that prepare you for the job in the Marine Corps and beyond. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Absolutely. I'm an air traffic controller, and I learned a trait that can transition into the civilian world, easily making me a 6-figure income.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you. We'll be back here at Destrehan in a few minutes, but first, Jessica, back to you in the studio.
Thanks so much, Haley. We'll be back with more of the pregame show after this break.
For over 40 years, Louisiana's original coffee put the joie into vie with its big, rich flavor. Now, Mellow Joy is back, and people are waking up to the original Cajun coffee. At work, the joy continues with a full line of satisfying coffees. Dark roast, between roast, medium roast, and decaffeinated. Of course, some people take their joy where their work takes them. Our best restaurants have discovered Mellow Joy as the perfect ending to a fine meal. Experience pure joy, Mellow Joy coffee.
I'm Leighton Ricks, Livingston Parish, and Livingston Parish is on the move. One of the primary things that we ran on was developing business and jobs in Livingston Parish for our people. So that we can bring, obviously, additional revenue to be able to support our infrastructure needs. We're going to continue to progress here in Livingston Parish. When everybody comes together, these kind of things happen. I mean, what can you say? It's absolutely awesome. It's the perfect place to be. It's where you want to be today, I can guarantee you that.
Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might want to make decisions based on service and savings, not because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood because we're based in Louisiana with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Welcome to Monogram Express, a unique embroidery boutique specializing.
Ready for the game to start. But before we do that, we're talking to Scott Hebert and Matt Banta, both Farm Bureau insurance agents. So first, Scott, tell me, why is it so important that y'all sponsor this Cox 4 Game of the Week?
First of all, you know, Farm Bureau is a local company. We've been here for over 60 years. We feel it's just something that would be great for us to do, the opportunity to support our local community.
And as far as what makes Farm Bureau special, that's really a big part of it, right? It is being a part of the community.
Yeah, we have local agents that's part of the community, and our kids go to school with their kids, and we have local adjusters that's in the office with us, and we just, like I said, it's just great to be involved in the community.
Thank you so much. And Matt, tell us different types of coverage, different products that Farm Bureau offers. What are those?
We offer auto, home, and life insurance. We offer multi-line discounts with our auto and home insurance. We have great rates on auto and home. We have an A+ rated life insurance company, and really we offer any kind of personal lines insurance, and we try to make sure everyone's completely protected that we talk to.
And as far as where you're located, I know y'all are in the same office. Where is that?
Yeah, we're off McCoast Road at 5355 McCoast Road in Zachary, and we also have an office that services the south side of Baton Rouge and off of Perkins Road.
Okay, thank you so much. We're hurrying. Jessica, back to you.
Thanks so much, Blair. Y'all, kickoff is just moments away, so keep it right here. For viewers in Acadiana, it's homecoming for the 8-0 Notre Dame Pioneers, who are poised and ready for tonight's challenger, the North Vermilion Patriots. For the Greater Baton Rouge crowd, Zachary Broncos and Denham Springs Yellow Jackets, it's your time, both making their second game of the week appearance. And for the prime time positioning in District 4-5A, that's what they're going for. We'll travel a little further east, though. HL Bourgeois and are over in
calendar is turned to November. That means the playoffs are right around the corner. And tonight on the Cox 4 Game of the Week, the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets look to secure a playoff berth as they visit the Zachary Broncos, who could solidify a home playoff game with a win. Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Palermo along with Jason DeQuare. Blair Bainey is the third member of our broadcast team. And welcome to Zachary High School, where the Broncos are 6-3. Or trying to improve the 6-3, and the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets are looking to get their record up to 4-5. Jason, let's take a look at our keys to victory for both of these teams, brought to you by the U.S. Marines. First of all, for Denham Springs.
Yeah, for Denham Springs, they want more consistency on offense. They've got a good running game, but they want it to be a consistent running game. And then they want to get off to a fast start. They've had a couple slow starts in football games. It's costed them. They want to get off to a fast start in this game, and then they have to tackle well. They have to wrap up some of these good skilled players of the Zachary Broncos in order to get them off the field.
All right, let's take a look at what the Zachary Broncos need to do. Again, brought to you by U.S. Marines.
And the Zachary Broncos want to get off the field on third down. Of course, we know that Denham Springs is going to try to grind the football out. They want to get them off the field on third down. And then they want to protect the football. They had too many costly fumbles against Central, and they need to eliminate those turnovers here tonight. And then they want to have sound play from Scott, sound play from Lindsey Scott. Their quarterback, he's played a couple games this year, but he's really maturing at the quarterback position, as we saw against Blackman.
Yeah, we'll actually have a couple of sophomore starting quarterbacks in this game. Torres Kitchen will be starting for the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets. We'll take a break. When we come back, kickoff from the Bronco Corral. This is the Cox 4 Game of the Week on CST.
On top of all the great reasons to possess the ultimate driving machine, we've added 2,000 more. Now at Brian Harris BMW, get $2,000 in instant build-out cash on remaining 2013 X5s. $2,000 in cash assistance to qualified buyers. Plus, enjoy an option credit of $1,000 on 2014 5 Series and $750 on 2014 3 Series BMWs. Hurry, it's a limited time offer at Brian Harris BMW, airline at Industriplex.
Domino's, can I take your order? Was that Terry or Mary? Let's be honest, ordering Domino's over the phone isn't always that great. Gary. Oh, I was way off. Can I put you on hold for 1 second? Hey, I'm back. No one's on this line.
But the new Domino's.com is easier than ever. Now you can save your favorite order, all your info, and then reorder in as little as 30 seconds. Way faster than calling the store.
Hello, you in a tunnel? Am I in a tunnel? No.
Order 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for just $5.99 each at Domino's.com and see how fast it really is.
The Cox 4 Game of the Week is brought to you by Louisiana Lift. At Louisiana Lift, we're always on call. And by Rockstar Racing, Baton Rouge's premier and only indoor kart racing facility. Come by after the game for a $10 special. Rockstar Racing, a fun, family-friendly environment. And by Leighton Riggs, president of Livingston Parish, one of the fastest growing parishes in Louisiana, with vast opportunities for families to grow and flourish. Excellent night for football there. You take a look at head football coach Drew Nettles for the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets in his 9th season. He's 46-45 at Denham Springs. Last year he led the Yellow Jackets to a 5-6 record where they lost to West Monroe in the first round of the playoffs. Had to replace 10 starters on offense and 7 starters on defense from that team. And they come into this game with a record of 3-5, 2-2 though in District 4-5A. We'll show you the district standings a little bit later. And there's a look at Neil Weiner in his 5th season, 30-22 at Zachary. They were 6-5 last season. They started off really well last year, going 4-1, lost in the first round of the playoffs. And we are underway as Zachary on the short kick calls for fair catch, and we'll see the Zachary offense on the field first, led by Lindsey Scott, the sophomore, who has converted 57% of his passes for 636 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. We saw him a couple of weeks ago when Zachary defeated Blackman by the final score of 34-21, and Scott had a really nice game, throwing for 3 touchdowns and 120 yards. Spread offense for the Zachary Broncos as Scott lined up in the shotgun formation, and they go to Forest Town, who we did not see in that Blackman game as he's been bothered by a groin injury. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for this one, and they are brought to you by Peak Performance Physical Therapy. We'll take a look at the skill position players. Forest Town, Kentrell Fisher, Chris Carrier, DQ Henry, and Stanley Jackson, a good blocking tight end. And then we'll take a look at, there's a quick look at the offensive line. 2nd down and 3, and Forest Town on another carry, very close to the first down marker at about the 42-yard line. Let's take a look at that Zachary offensive line, led by Zach Douglas, who's a 3-year starter. Kelton Howlands is a sophomore, but super talented. Caleb Wilkes has moved from right tackle to center because of an injury. Terry Miner and Sylvester Perkins. It was a first down run for Forest Town, who came into this game averaging nearly 7 yards a carry. And a guy that is a big part of the Zachary offense, who they missed for a couple of games because of a groin injury, as I mentioned. 1st and 10 at the 42. Lindsey Scott will throw it for the first time. He's got a man wide open. That's DQ Henry. And Henry's inside the 10. 5. Touchdown Broncos. That is a 59-yard touchdown pass between Lindsey Scott and DQ Henry.
Yeah, what a way to start for homecoming night. A big strike by Lindsey Scott to DQ Henry. There was nobody around DQ Henry. It must have been a busted coverage. But still in all, Lindsey Scott remained composed. We saw him grow up in front of us at the Plaquemine game. Made a big strike to DQ Henry. Here we go on the replay. As you can see, he's running down the middle of the field untouched, nobody around him, and just a simple pitch and catch to start this game off, and Zachary now has a chance to open up 7-0.
Blown coverage there for Denham Springs defense, and on to kick the extra point is Thomas McHugh. And a very accurate kicker, and he gets it through the upright. So a quick touchdown for the Zachary Broncos. We'll see how Denham Springs responds. 7-0 Zachary on the Cox 4 Game of the Week on CST.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College. Do you want a better life?
Get your associate's degree in occupational studies in information technology from ITI. In 2 years, you'll be on your way to a better life. You will get hands-on specialized training in computers, hardware and software, networking, and more. ITI offers flexible class schedules, and financial aid is available to those who qualify.
So don't wait. Call ITI now or go online. It's that simple.
ITI for a better life.
Insurance commercials have become unusually funny. We think that's strange because we take auto coverage pretty seriously at Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Of course, When you cover as many vehicles in Louisiana as we do, it doesn't leave a lot of time for silly gimmicks. We're more concerned about what happens to you on the road than any chicken that happens to cross it just to make you chuckle. Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Zachary gets on the board very quickly in their homecoming game against the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets. Jeff Palermo, Jason McQuarrie, and Blair Bainey down on the sidelines as DQ Henry just caught his second touchdown pass of the season. 3 plays, 70 yards, and for Lindsey Scott, that is his 6th touchdown, and it did not take long at all, Jason.
No, I mean, you talk about opening up fast, homecoming night, a lot of emotion, a lot of excitement here in Zachary Bronco community, and not a better way to open up for these fans than a quick strike by Lindsey Scott to DQ Henry.
We'll see how Denham Springs is able to respond after that scoring strike between Scott and Henry. And this is going to be a short end-over-end kick. And, oh, there's a miscommunication, and neither return man picked it up. And that will be an automatic touchback once it gets into the end zone. But, boy, almost a dangerous situation there for Denham Springs. Let's take a look at Torres Kitchen, the starting quarterback for the Yellow Jackets. He's made 3 starts on the season. You see the numbers. We saw him last week. We saw some good, we saw some bad, but with the 3 interceptions, that's what he needs to avoid here today. He needs to take better care of the football than he did last week against U High.
Yeah, and the other thing I'm going to be looking at with Torres Kitchen is to see how that knee was doing. We know he's a mobile quarterback, but his knee's got to be healthy, and it didn't look all the way healthy last week against U High.
Yeah, he has a MCL injury that he's playing through, and Denham Springs are going to go to the ground quite a bit, and they do on the first play. A minimum pickup there for, I believe, Anthony Bracey got a chance to carry the football. There you take a look at the skill position starters for Denham Springs, brought to you by Peak Performance Physical Therapy, Bracey, Washington, Keandre Brooks, Nolan Satcher, and Kyle Thames, the tight end. The offensive line, they are big. Ty Miller, Taylor White, Keaton Atwell, who's played really well, Dylan Combray, and John Henderson. 2nd down and 8, back to the ground again, and nothing doing there. Avery Neal for the Broncos, one of the defenders there, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and long for the Yellow Jackets. Let's take a look at Zachary's defense, brought to you by Peak Performance Physical Therapy. Matthew Bowman, Matthew Morgan, and Brian Davis, your defensive line. The linebackers, Avery Neal, Darius Wallace, Tywan Bearden, who's a hard hitter for a small guy. And then the defensive secondary, P.J. Cannon, Quentin Townsell, Phillip Brooks, Timothy Carr, and Kari Lowe. 3rd down and 7 for Denham Springs, and Torres Kitchen, the sophomore quarterback, who's an excellent basketball player at 6'2", 185 pounds. Lone running back is Bracey. Kitchen goes back to pass, quick throw, and it's complete. And his receiver makes the grab at the 36-yard line. On the catch, that is Bailey Holstein, a good baseball player, making his 14th catch of the season.
Yeah, and I know Drew Nettles has to be excited to see that. Last weekend against U High, they had no resemblance of a passing game, and so in those 3rd and long situations when you know he wants to run first, it's good to see his quarterback step up and make a big conversion there through the passing game.
If you remember last week, they had a 3rd and long on their opening drive, and they completed a pass there. Unfortunately, they didn't complete too many after that. Here's the running game now with Bracey picking up about 4 yards up to the 40-yard line before he's tackled. And Anthony Bracey suffered an ACL injury a season ago, but he's nearly back to 100% from that difficult injury that a lot of football players are suffering nowadays.
Well, and he really looked good last week. He runs hard between the tackles. He's a very difficult runner to bring down. You got to bring multiple hats, multiple players in order to bring Mr. Bracey down. 5th
play of the drive for Denham Springs as they got it up to the 40-yard line. There's Bracey riding up the middle again, running over a Zachary defender, gets close to the 1st down marker, but he's going to be a couple yards short.
Yeah, and you got a real good look at his power there. As you mentioned, he ran through a couple tackles, straight ahead, north-south runner, looking for those chains. And, you know, this is where Denham Springs would like to be in 3rd and short situations.
There you look at the numbers for Bracey, who looks up to Adrian Peterson. And, of course, Peterson, he had the same injury that he did and had the great comeback season from a year ago. Last week, Bracey against U High almost rushed for 100 yards and scored a touchdown. On 3rd and 2, they go to him. He's going to need some running room, though, as Zachary there defensively to shut it down. He doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Excellent job there by the Broncos. Avery Neal once again gets there, and that's what Neil Weiner wanted to do tonight, Jason. Get off the field on 3rd down. They didn't do it the first time. They did it there, though.
Yeah, and the real chess match is going to be Zachary is going to crowd that line of scrimmage. If you watch this Zachary Bronco defense, they're going to bring everybody up so they're going to have plenty of numbers in the box. And Denham Springs with that big offensive line, they're still going to continue to try to pound it right through those numbers in the box. And here they go, looking like they may go for it on 4th and 2.
We'll see, and they are going for it. Bracey right up the middle, puts his head down, 2nd and 3rd effort. It gets him the first down. Hard run there by Bracey, and that's an example of what Denham Springs is all about. They got that big offensive line, and they got that tough running back in Bracey, and they pick up a big first down there.
Yeah, anyway, this is the chess match that I was talking about. Everybody in the stands knows Drew Nettles wants to run the football. Here you go. Everybody's in the box. The line of scrimmage is crowded. And you can see Drew Nettles feels that his offensive line is bigger, stronger, and more powerful than the Zachary front, and he's going to challenge that.
New running back in the ball game now for Drew Nettles, B.J. Armstrong, and he gets the carry straight ahead, bounces off a tackler, keeps going, and he gets all the way up to about the 42-yard line. It's nothing fancy, but it can be effective. Payne Rashada on the stop there for the Zachary Broncos.
Yeah, and Denham Springs wants to come out and flex their muscle. I mean, they believe mano-a-mano, man for man on the line of scrimmage, that they're bigger, they're stronger, and you can see these haven't been pitches to the outside or jet sweeps. These are off-tackle runs and right up the middle, and they feel that they can do this. This is a good matchup for Drew Nettles.
Denham Springs averaging 165 yards on the ground. They're averaging 17 points a game. They've had trouble. They've moved the football, but getting into the end zone is something different. And now they do an end around Jabris Thompson to the 10, to the 5, stretches for the end zone, touchdown. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
You know, when you have success running up the middle, here comes that end around that now all of your defenses converge to the middle and they stretch you out wide. And, you know, Thomas has serious speed. He mainly plays on defense, but you can see his acceleration and his capability on the offensive side of the ball. And Coach Nettles wants to get him a couple touches each game, and you can see why. Look how explosive he is. Again, Zachary crowding the line of scrimmage, the end around, and as soon as he sees that daylight, nobody on the field is going to catch Mr. Thomas.
Big time run there for Denham Springs. And the extra point is good. So we're all tied up. 5:46 left to go in the first quarter. More coming up on the Cox Ford Game of the Week on CST.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College. Do you want a better life?
Get your associate's degree in occupational studies in information technology from ITI. In 2 years, you'll be on your way to a better life. You will get hands-on specialized training in computers, hardware and software, networking, and more. ITI offers flexible class schedules, and financial aid is available to those who qualify.
So don't wait. Call ITI now or go online. It's that simple.
ITI, for a better life.
The 48th Greater Baton Rouge State Fair is back October 24th through November 3rd. Right on the best all-new Midway in South Louisiana with more than 40 thrilling rides, great food and music, the all-new Noah's Way Petting Zoo, and much more. Go to gbrsf.com for special discount tickets. Make a memory at the Greater Baton Rouge State Fair October 24th through November 3rd on Airline Highway at the fairgrounds. Go to gbrsf.com.
So after a quick scoring drive by Zachary, Denham Springs responds with a nice grueling drive, really. 9 plays, 80 yards, and then they hit him with Jabarius Thompson, his second touchdown run of the season. They don't give him the ball much, as you mentioned, Jason, but when they do, he can make a big play happen, and Zachary just wasn't ready for that quick end around to the outside. Here's a bit of an onside kick or a little pop-up of a kick, and that's a heck of a catch by the Zachary player. Making a grab was Chris Armwood, but Denham Springs almost stole a possession there, Jason.
Yeah, we saw him do that last week against U-High. After the half, they did the little pooch kickoff. U-High wasn't able to recover it, and they were able to get an extra possession there. But we got a clear glimpse of how these two offenses like to operate, one in the spread and one much more the power game.
Lindsey Scott threw a touchdown pass last time he threw it, and he's going to run it here across the 40, all the way up to the 46-yard line. Give him about 9 yards on the gain, and that shows you he's a pretty good dual athlete. Coach Weiner says he's kind of like Russell Wilson, a fantastic quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. He's not saying he's going to be the next Russell Wilson, but he's got that kind of makeup where he can make some plays through the air and on the ground, and he has some decent numbers this season. 2nd down and 1 for the Broncos. And they go to the ground, and Forest Town has got some room into the Yellow Jackets secondary, all the way up to about the 41-yard line. Wes Brown made the stop. We have not seen Denham Springs starting lineup yet, so let's take a look at that. Brought to you by Peak Performance Physical Therapy. Barclay Miller, 3-year starter, had a solid game last week. Cody Prest, Eli Cawthon, and DJ Robinson, the defensive line. Your linebackers, Tanner Kuat and Garrett Osborne, and then the defensive secondary, Thompson, Darren Wilson, Cole Spear, George White, and then Wes Brown. 1st down and 10, right back up the middle again with Forest Town, who had a huge game a few weeks back against East Feliciana, where he rushed for 164 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's a guy that looks up to Tim Tebow, and he's wearing that familiar number 11 jersey.
Yeah, and for a first time in a long time, this Zachary backfield is really getting healthy now. Lindsey Scott has a few games under him. Forest Town is one of their best running backs, and then their former running back who had to play quarterback, Keon Brown, is now in that backfield. And when you got all 3 of them healthy, you've got a dangerous backfield for Zachary.
And there's this Lindsey Scott on the carry up to the 34-yard line on 2nd down. Denham Springs stops him short of the 1st down. George White, a senior who has 24 and a half tackles, in on the stop. There you take a look at Lindsey Scott's rushing numbers, and 5 touchdowns is a nice number. And Coach Neil Weiner will tell you that he's a kid that is making some better decisions.
Yeah, he's growing up, he's maturing. It just takes, he's a sophomore, it takes getting some games under him, and you saw his rushing yards there. He's got a little bit of that in his blood. His dad is a former running back at Southern University, so he knows a little bit about running the football too.
3rd down, trying to set up the screen here for Forest Town. He catches it, and he's got a 1st down for the Broncos up to about the 27-yard line. Barclay Miller on the stop. Also there, Darren Wilson, who's a junior with 17 tackles on the season, but the Broncos move the chains once again.
Yeah, here you go. It's good to have Forest Town back. You can see him coming out of the backfield, hit himself in the line of scrimmage, but again, another great pickup, and you see how he's a good receiver, good capable receiver as well.
10th catch of the season for Town as Scott keeps it here on the option read, and he runs into a bunch of Yellow Jackets at about the 22-yard line. Pickup of about 3 or 4 yards on the play. Yeah, this is a different Zachary offense than what we saw a few weeks ago. I mean, they were just trying to put pieces together. They didn't have Town. They didn't have Keon Brown. We saw a lot of Terry Sullivan in that game running the football.
Yeah, and he's no slouch. He had 3 touchdowns in that Plaquemine game. But again, when you have Town and Scott and Brown all in the backfield together, I mean, this is a healthy, very dynamic offense of Zachary.
Under 3 minutes to go in this rapidly moving first quarter. Low snap, but Scott handles it as he rolls to his right. Now he'll just run it, breaks a couple tackles, and gets all the way up to about the 14-yard line. Give him a 1st down on that play as he picks up 9 yards, and another solid drive here for the Broncos.
And this is where Lindsey Scott has really grown up. He didn't make these quick decisions. Here you go in the replay. It's a rollout. He has an option to pass, but as soon as he realizes his man is not open, he tucks it, turns into a running back, makes a quick decision, and picks up 10 yards, and that's what Coach Weiner is liking in his young quarterback.
And Zachary has moved inside the Brian Harris Chrysler Jeep red zone. And Scott just going to run this right away, and he fumbles the football inside the 10. A mad scramble for it. Oh, the officials are going to have to get under there. Great camera work there, trying to figure out who has that football. No one has said anything, and it's going to be Zachary's football. Boy, I thought Denham Springs was going to be able to jump on that football, but give credit to Terry Minor, the senior. He got his mitts on that football, and he did not let go.
Yeah, and I was just giving him praise about the things that he does well, but these are some of the things that young players do. They have that football out there like a loaf of bread, and as people get around you, you've got to wrap it up, protected with two hands, particularly as you're about to take on contact, and he's got to do a better job of securing the ball there. Fortunately, they were able to recover it.
3 fumbles coming into this game as he put it on the carpet there. Now they're going to run it with Keon Brown, and Denham Springs shuts it down. Great job by Cole Spear. Great player, 3-year starter, who's getting looked at by some state schools. Made a nice stop there to force 3rd down for the Zachary Broncos.
Yeah, Cole Spear is their leader on defense. You can see him come up, but Denham did a good job of stringing this play, forcing it to the sideline, and then a sure tackler in Cole Spear.
It's 3rd down and about 5. They need to get to the 3. Maybe we'll call it 4 as they put the ball at the 7-yard line as you take a look at Cole Spear. Forced down to the left of the quarterback, Lindsey Scott. Scott rolling, feeling some pressure, throws to the end zone, batted around, incomplete. Great defensive play by Wes Brown to knock it away from DQ Henry, who already has a touchdown catch on the season. And the field goal team for Zachary is coming onto the field.
Yeah, again, Lindsey Scott had him on the rollout. Probably if he could have released this ball a little bit earlier, but again, a great play by Wes Brown to get his head around, knock it down, and save. Here we go with the replay. Just a quick rollout, but right here the ball should have been gone. He had him in the back of the end zone earlier, hesitated just a little bit. It allowed the defensive back Wes Brown to make up ground and knock the ball away.
It's about a 23-yard field goal for Thomas McHugh. It's a line drive kick, and it gets through the uprights to give Zachary the lead once again. 41 seconds left to go in this first quarter. The Broncos lead the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets 10-7 on the Cox 4 Game of the Week here on CST.
If there's one truth in this life, you can't escape your demons. I thought I hung my tire chains up for good, but I can't shake this bad feeling that I haven't seen the last of my old friend.
Now, get 1.9 for 60 months on all 2014 Audis at Brian Harris Audi on Airline.
I go to work every day, and I love doing what I'm doing, and I love being a part of Livingston Parish, and to be elected sheriff, to be able to lead Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office is just such an honor for me, and so I'm very excited about not only where we're at today, but where we're going to be at in the future. The parish is so special to the citizens. They work with the Sheriff's Office, they trust the Sheriff's Office. Our community stands behind us 100%, and they get involved. They don't want crime in Livingston Parish.
Good football game brewing here at Zachary High School. Homecoming for the Broncos, and they lead the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets 10-7 in the late stages of the first quarter. In case you're just joining us, Zachary took the opening drive. It didn't take them long. They hit a 59-yard touchdown pass between Lindsey Scott and DQ Henry. Then a Denham Springs drive where they just kept it on the ground. They did complete a long 3rd down play on a pass play between Torres Kitchen and Bailey Holstein. But other than that, it was Anthony Bracy and then Jabaris Thompson with a long touchdown run. And now Thomas McHugh has just capped off a Zachary scoring drive with a 23-yard field goal. This return from the 13-yard line. Elton Knight's got a seam. Now bounces it out to the outside, still on his feet as he gets all the way up to the 35-yard line before he's finally tackled on the play by Jordan Hunter. Decent field position for the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets for their second offensive drive of the night. Elton Knight, a pretty good returner for Denham Springs, averaging 18 yards a return. 44 is his long, and he had a good one there. So 1st and 10 for the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets. And no goal to the ground here. Bracey finds some room off left tackle for about 6 or 7 to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, and you can see Anthony Bracey again. He's their real workhorse running back, but I'll tell you, they have a good complement in B.J. Armstrong. He's a little bit faster, a little bit shiftier, but Bracey is really the workhorse running back that they're going to continue to pound and ride throughout this game.
That looks like is our final play of the first quarter, with the Zachary Broncos leading the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets 10-7. We'll take a break. You're watching the Cox 4 Game of the Week on CST.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Hello, I'm Eric Edwards with the Livingston Parish Convention and Visitors Bureau. Find out now what's going on in Livingston Parish. We have over 400 nautical miles of waterways. Tee it up at our great world-renowned golf courses. Shop at our antique districts, or come to Bass Pro, our #1 retailer. There's a lot to do in Livingston Parish that you never imagined. It's all happening right here in Livingston Parish. For more information, go online at visitlivingstonparish.com.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue-collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
The Cox 4 Game of the Week is brought to you by Livingston Parish Economic Development Council, reminding you that Livingston Parish is the place to be, and by Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance, ready to serve you with auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and more. Real service, real people. And by Monogram Express, we make ordinary gifts extraordinary. Jeff Palermo, Jason DeQuire, and Blair Bainey down on the sidelines for homecoming night for the Zachary Broncos. Drew Nettles and the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets, they need a win here. They need to either win here or next week when they take on Walker for them to solidify a playoff spot in the Class 5A playoffs. Bracey to carry there. It looked like Avery Neal and a herd of Broncos brings him down after a pickup of about a yard. 3rd down and a short 3 now for Denham Springs. Well, we've seen Denham convert on 3rd down. We've seen him convert on 4th down. They came into this game converting on 3rd down 42% of the time.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see again if this is 4-down territory for Drew Nettles if they don't get it. This is about the position that they had it in the first quarter that they went for it on 4th down.
Kitchen underneath center, barking out the signals, and they hand it off to Bracey, and he's got the 1st down as he powers his way across the 50-yard line. Wow, what a strong run there. And he was finally tackled on the play by Taiwan Bearden, who's a much smaller player than Bracey. Let's now send it down to the field and Blair Bainey. Blair?
Thanks, guys. Down here talking to Sergeant Francisco, and we were talking about some of the things y'all look for, the Marines that is, when it comes to recruiting. What types of recruits do you really like to see?
Well, we're really looking for like our young, motivated prospects. Our main market area is really the high school seniors, the 17, 18-year-olds, because at that point in time of their life, they're really looking for their career down the road, whether it's education, in the workforce, and we try to catch them young. So.
And you mentioned high school seniors. How would you talk to them? What would you tell them about your experience becoming a Marine and what it's done for you, why they should do it too?
Well, you know, what I like to do is give them like my little personal story about it, because I was 17 years old just like them, didn't know what I wanted to do when I graduated high school, and I talked to a Marine recruiter, and I really wanted to get my education on, and she talked to me about the educational opportunities that the Marine Corps had to offer, and the workforce, how it would be able to help me out after graduating high school and 4 years in the Marines, so it got me here today.
And as far as career options, there are a lot of career options once you become a Marine. What are some of those?
Well, there's over 350 different technical occupations that the Marine Corps has to offer, and it ranges really anywhere from the fighting forces in the infantry to driving a truck, cooking food, communications, or working behind a computer. So,
if someone wants more information, where can they go? An actual office, a website, any of those things?
Well, for the Baton Rouge area, our office is located at 7970 Jefferson Highway. That's in Baton Rouge. We're at Suite 1. And of course, if anybody's a little timid about coming to the office, they can always go to the website, www.marines.com, and fill out some information, and a recruiter will definitely get in contact with them shortly.
All right, thank you so much. Jeff, Jason, back to you.
All All right, thanks a lot, Blair. And as you saw, as Blair was speaking with our guest, there was a big-time turnover there, and we'll take a look back at that. But Zachary in position here to add to their lead, but nothing happening there on the carry by Forest Town as he was tackled by a couple of Denham Springs Yellow Jacket players. Let's look back at that fumble. That's B.J. Armstrong, the ball carrier, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like that where you pitch the ball to the running back and it just bounces straight up in the air.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard pitch, but I mean, it looked like he didn't even have time to get his hands up by his helmet. It bounces off of his helmet and, causes a big turnover. Sort of question why the pitch. I mean, you're having so much success just running it up the middle off of tackles. You do something a little different there, and now all of a sudden you turn the football over.
Third down here for Zachary. Denham Springs defense needs to come up strong here. Here's Forest Town, breaks a couple tackles, very close to the first down marker. He's going to be stopped a couple of yards short, though, at the 31-yard line. So it's fourth down. And let's see what Coach Neil Weiner decides to do.
I don't think it took him long to make that decision.
He knew exactly what he wanted to do as they quickly get up to the line of scrimmage on fourth down and 2. Now the check with me to the sideline. Looks like there's going to be a timeout here. Or was the officials are going to be discussing things here momentarily.
Encroachment against Zachary, 5-yard penalty, replay fourth down.
Well, our first penalty of the night is a big penalty. It's a 5-yard penalty against Zachary. So now how does this change things for Coach Neil Weiner? I still think he goes for it.
Yeah, you're just about out of the range of your field goal kicker. But again, if you punt it in the end zone, you're only talking about a net of 10 or 15 yards. So he's feeling, hey, my offense has had some success already. Let's go ahead and see if we can pick up this first down and keep our drive alive.
For Denham Springs this season, they have given up defensively this year. 44% of the time, their opponents have converted on fourth down. Yellow Jackets showing a little blitz here. Now Neil Weiner wants to talk about it. Timeout, Zachary. 8:26 left to go before halftime. The Broncos lead 10-7 on the Cox 4 Game of the Week on CST.
You can live the dream life right now at Suma Crossing Apartments in Livingston Parish. Imagine luxurious and affordable living where it is safe and the school systems are awesome. A quiet community with a private, well-stocked lake and a cool, relaxing swimming pool. Easy access for Baton Rouge commuters or students at Southeastern. It's not a dream, it's real and waiting for you. Come see Suma Crossing, exit 19 on I-12.
The only inside go-kart racing in Louisiana. Rockstars fast, Rockstars fun, and Rockstars real. Face it, Rockstar is for kids. Race like a rock star. We have an indoor and outdoor track. 225-214-0045. So, let's do it. Rockstar Racing, a real racing experience.
Fourth down and 7 for the Zachary Broncos, already up 10-7. And look at this, halfback pass, and it's DQ Henry. Touchdown, touchdown Broncos.
Yeah, this is the second time tonight that Denham Springs fails to pick up DQ Henry running down the slot. I mean, it was a simple route, almost like a little post slant route there, but I mean, he's running just free down the middle of the field. And of course, here you go with the replay.
Keon Brown with the throw here, Jason. Remember, former quarterback for the Broncos.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess they, cheated up a little bit. They saw Keon Brown get the football, and he dumps it over the top. But just a blown assignment, blown coverage by Denham Springs. But a great call from Neil Weiner coming out of that timeout. And his dad is known for trick plays coming out of a timeout. So that might be a little bit in the blood, too, there, Jeff.
The extra point is good. So the Zachary Broncos convert on fourth down. They convert off of a Denham Springs turnover, and they have a 10-point lead. We'll be back on the Cox 4 Game of the Week on CST.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Many will hear the calling.
Move it! Yes, sir!
Few will earn the title United States Marine. The few, the proud Marines.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the soccer star to the soccer mom. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Little trickery here for the Zachary Broncos. Keon Brown on the halfback option, hitting DQ Henry in stride, and for the second time tonight, Henry finds the end zone. He only had one touchdown on the season, so he's tripled his number after getting two more here tonight. All right, the kickoff return coming back the other way. This is Jabaris Thompson, who has the touchdown for the Yellow Jackets, and he gets all the way up to the 41-yard line. Boy, is he excited to watch. He was actually tackled on the play by Nathan Lowry, the man who kicked the football off for the Zachary Broncos.
Yeah, and you can see Jabari Thomas has great speed, but you were mentioning DQ Henry. If Denham Springs doesn't cover him tonight, he might have 3 or 4 touchdowns. I mean, if you leave him wide open. And so Denham Springs really needs to talk to their secondary. They left him running free a couple times tonight, and granted on that one, the running back had the ball, and they might have cheated in the backfield a little bit, but they're going to have to be a little bit more cautious and observant of that on the secondary.
4 plays, 37 yards on the U.S. Marine scoring drive. 1st and 10 now, and they go to Bracey, and Bracey shut down after a pickup of a yard as a bunch of Broncos were there defensively to make the stop for Zachary. One of the defenders that got there pretty quick was Matthew Morgan, and then also number 10 for the Zachary Broncos, that's Phillip Brooks, who had a couple of interceptions in a game against East Feliciana earlier this season.
Well, you know, last week we were saying, you know, how long is Denham Springs just going to continue to pound the football? They got down by a couple of scores, and they were still pounding it. We've only seen them put it in the air a couple times tonight, but here they go again to the air.
And it's caught. That's Nolan Satcher, who gets into Zachary territory before he's tossed out of bounds by P.J. Cannon, who's a sophomore. But that's a first down, but it's a nice start for Torres Kinchin, the Denham Springs quarterback.
Yeah, and I think they're still going to have to do a little of this. You see how far they're playing off of them, and that's because they're man-on-man on the outside, because they're putting so many people and loading up the box. And even though I know Drew Nettles, Coach Nettles, wants to pound the ball, every now and then you have to keep that defense honest and let them know we will put the football up if we have to.
So 1st and 10, Denham Springs back into Zachary territory. And this is B.J. Armstrong, puts his head down, gets a couple of yards on the play. One of the defenders there for the Zachary Broncos, that's Chris Armwood.
Yeah, and B.J. Armstrong is a compliment to Bracey. We've talked about him. He's got a little bit more speed, a little bit more quickness than Bracey. Bracey's more of the power guy. And, you know, whenever I hear that name B.J. Armstrong, Jeff, I think back to that Chicago Bulls team. I know you're from Chicago, and you probably remember B.J. Armstrong and Michael Jordan. Wasn't a bad combination either.
No, 2nd down and 8. Babyface B.J. Armstrong. Torres Kinchin. And there is a penalty going to be called here on Denham Springs. They may not have lined up correctly.
Penalty, replay it down.
Well, once again, I want to thank Louisiana Lift for helping us out here tonight, providing us with the back of the end zone camera shot through all of our games here at Louisiana Lift. You can check them out by going to lalift.com. All right, 2nd down and 15. Kitchen goes back to pass, and that time the pass is dropped by Satcher.
almost essentially the same curl route that they went to earlier in this drive, but this time you can see they played that a little bit tighter. They were expecting it. It was good coverage there, and obviously a good breakup.
So 3rd down and 15. And this is not, if you're Denham Springs and the type of offense you run, this is not the situation you want right now.
No, I mean, their offense is not designed to make 3rd and 15 type conversions. They're grind it out 4 or 5 yards at a time, get short yardage situations, but it's going to be interesting to see the play call here by Coach Nettles on 3rd and 13.
All right. Kitchen now, shotgun formation. Dumps it off. This is Bracey. Bracey's going to have to, gets a block, and he's up to about the 42-yard line, picks up about 4 or 5 on the play. Maybe Denham Springs might go for it here on a 4th down.
Yeah, I think he's going to consider keeping his offense on the field. I mean, they're down 17-7, and, 4th and 5. So here goes the replay, and you're going to see Bailey Holstein with just a big crackback block as it's thrown out to Bracey. But you're going to see off on the left side of your screen just a big block by number 5 coming right into there, and, just clears out the path there.
So 4th down and 4. And Kitchen lined up, shotgun formation, 4 wide receivers. Actually, just 3 wide receivers here, and Drew Nettles wants to call timeout. All right, so Denham Springs facing a 4th down. We saw Zachary call 4th down on 4th down, and they came up with a bit of a trick play. We'll see what Drew Nettles has up his sleeve when we come back. 6:17 left to go before halftime. Zachary leads Denham Springs 17-7 on the Cox 4 Game of the Week on CST.
I'm Leighton Ricks, Livingston Parish, and Livingston Parish is on the move. One of the primary things that we ran on was developing business and jobs in Livingston Parish for our people so that we can bring, obviously, additional revenue to be able to support our infrastructure needs. We're going to continue to progress here in Livingston Parish. When everybody comes together, these kind of things happen. I mean, what can you say? It's absolutely awesome. It's the perfect place to be. It's where you want to be today, I can guarantee you that.
Insurance commercials have become unusually funny. We think that's strange because we take auto coverage pretty seriously at Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Of course, when you cover as many vehicles in Louisiana as we do, it doesn't leave a lot of time for silly gimmicks. We're more concerned about what happens to you on the road than any chicken that happens to cross it just to make you chuckle. Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Well, Denham Springs has traveled over to Zachary, hoping to spoil homecoming for the Zachary Broncos. Jeff Palermo, Jason DeQuare, and Blair Bainey down on the sidelines. 4th down and 5 for Denham Springs, down by 10 points. Kitchen, shotgun formation, rolls to his right, throws, knocked away and almost intercepted on the play. Great defensive play by Phillip Brooks, and Zachary holds, forcing Denham Springs to turn it over on downs.
Yeah, great coverage on Phillip Brooks. I mean, he really plays this thing well and really steps out in front of it and just knocks the ball away. Here you go on the replay. Torres Kinchin rolling out and thinks he can thread this ball in there, and just a great play. Doesn't commit the pass interference, keeps his arm off the back of him and knocks it down with his free hand there, and that's just textbook defensive back play.
All right, so Zachary now takes over at their own 42-yard line. Lindsey Scott will keep it, and it's a good decision by Mr. Scott as he's breaking into the clear all the way up to about the 22-yard line. A big pickup on 1st down for the Zachary Broncos, and they can really take control of this game as a huge run by Lindsey Scott.
Yeah, and this is where we've seen him progress. His reads are so much better, and he's probably getting more comfortable. He read that perfect. He saw Forest Town was covered, and he decided to keep it. A big hole there, exploits that hole, and then he protects the football at the end of the run. Good read by Lindsey Scott in that zone read option.
1st and 10 at the 22. Town gets it this time, tries to stiff arm his way over into the red zone, but a nice tackle by Garrett Osborne, the leading tackler for the Yellow Jackets. former strong safety, now playing linebacker for Denham Springs, and he makes the stop. Denham Springs has forced just 6 turnovers on the season. They can sure use one right now.
Yeah, Denham Springs really needs a stop here. They don't want to let another touchdown here in by Zachary, particularly before the half, so they really need to dig in here and at least try to hold Zachary to 3 points.
Approaching the 5-minute mark of the second quarter, Zachary up by 10, looking for more on this second down and 10 play coming up for the Broncos. Scott looks, pressure, throws, and caught, and a big-time hit on the play. Wes Brown came up and drilled the receiver who held the football. DQ Henry shows he's not just flash, he's got some substance, too.
Yeah.
Nice catch after getting creamed on the play.
Yeah, great possession catch and really great pocket awareness. If you look at Lindsey Scott on this replay, I really thought they were going to get him in the backfield, but he eludes a couple of defenders there. Quick strike to DQ Henry, and again, the big hit by Brown, but DQ Henry somehow is able to hold on to that football, and a good completion there for the Zachary Broncos, bringing it 3rd and 5.
And they are inside the Livingston Parish Convention and Visitors Bureau red zone. They set up the screen, ball batted around, and Denham Springs defense, nice stand there after the long run by Lindsey Scott. We'll see what Coach Neil Weiner decides to do on 4th down. It's going to be about a 35-yard field goal. Their field goal kicker, Thomas McHugh, doesn't have the strongest leg.
And this play was blown up from the start. You can see on the replay, Lindsey Scott barely had time to get the ball off and still made a dangerous throw, trying to get a screen off, but his man was well covered. Would have been better advised just throwing the football away. But looks like Coach Weiner's decided, hey, we're going to try to punch this ball in.
Garrett Osborne with the pressure on Scott. Let's see if there's going to be some more pressure here. 7 seconds on the play clock. Scott takes the snap. He's got time, fires it, and it's incomplete. His receiver had a step on the defender, but just too much of a zip on that football as Kentrell Fisher was open in the end zone, and the Yellow Jackets defense comes up with an important stand.
Yeah, Lindsey Scott just missed this one. Kentrell Fisher, one of the fastest players on the field tonight, ran that post corner and was wide open, actually, and Lindsey Scott just needed to settle in there, take his time, and deliver a strike, but obviously he missed him. It's a heck of a stance for Denham Springs. They really needed to ensure that Zachary didn't get any points on this drive.
1st down and 10 now for Denham Springs at their own 17-yard line. Just over 4 minutes left to go in this first half as Kitchen gets underneath center. And this is Armstrong, and Armstrong swarmed under on that play. Brought down pretty quickly. Tywan Bearden. We saw this young man, number 40. You see him there, 5'10", 175 pounds. Not big, but when he makes a tackle, he makes the ball carrier feel it for sure.
Les Miles had a saying, sincerity of my contact, and Bearden wants you to feel the sincerity of his contact, and just a tremendous linebacker there. But, Denham Springs, this is not their forte. They've got to drive the field in 3 minutes, and, of course, their forte is running the football, so it's going to be interesting to see what Coach Nettles draws up trying to get them down the field.
2nd and 10, they go to Bracey again, and he has brought down Darius Wallace, a senior. He's coming off a shoulder injury that was pretty significant, making the stop on 3rd down. And now Zachary is thinking, hey, we stop him here, get the ball back, fairly decent field position possibly. They might be able to put some more points on the board before halftime.
Yeah, and Denham's in one of these 3rd and 7s, one of these 3rd down and long yardage to go. And, they're backed up in their own territory, and they got to be very careful here. But again, as you're mentioning, Jeff, if they just run the ball here and they don't pick up the 1st down, Zachary's got plenty of time to get the ball back and try to look for more points.
3rd down and 7. Kitchen has done well throwing the football tonight. Let's see if Drew Nettles puts it in his hands. He does. Quick throw, and the pass is caught. That is Keandre Brooks, but he is taken out of bounds well shy of the 1st down, as Zachary was ready for that.
And the most important thing about that, he was tackled out of bounds, so Zachary doesn't have to burn any timeouts to stop the clock. And, Drew Nettles might be pondering over there on the sideline, but I don't think he has any choice here but to punt the football.
Well, we'll see. You never know. You might want to think about trying to draw him off sides possibly. No, he's going to bring the punt team out.
It's just too early in the football game. You're only down by 10 points. you know, you don't convert here. You give him the ball in a short field situation. It's almost guaranteed points for Zachary. This is the right decision. He needs to punt this football.
Denham Springs had a couple punts blocked last week against U-High, but Shaloler gets off a decent punt here that's taken right at the 49-yard line. So Zachary, who has 2 timeouts and plenty of time to work with 2:25 left to go before halftime, takes over near the 50-yard line. Cox 4 thanks Louisiana Lift for their support of this telecast, specializing in customer service on equipment, rental, parts, and training. Louisiana Lift has been serving its customers since 1980. Check them out online at lalift.com or call their New Orleans area office at 504-463-3400. First down and 10 at the 50 for Zachary. Low snap, Scott gets it. Here's Town. Town to about the 44-yard line. One of the defenders there, Garrett Osborne, a senior, who's finishing up his career. It's been a great career for him. Over 60 tackles on the season for the senior this season. 2 timeouts left here for Zachary as they try to get up to the line of scrimmage quickly as we hit the 2-minute mark. Plenty of time to work with. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far for Lindsey Scott. Low snap once again. Scott heaves this football, but it's almost intercepted on the play by Jabaris Thompson.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what Lindsey Scott was trying to do here. I mean, he just dropped back and just let it go. It looked like maybe he thought the receiver was going to run a post corner route, but he just ran the straight 9 route, and there was just some sort of miscommunication there, but that ball never had a chance.
3rd down and about 4 on the play. 4-down territory for the Zachary Broncos as they operate inside Denham Springs territory. And Town is wide open. Down the sidelines he goes. Finally, banged out of bounds at about the 12, 11-yard line. Big pickup there. Lindsey Scott and Forrest Town hook up. And Town, who came into this game with 9 catches, has had a couple nice grabs for Neil Weiner and that Zachary Broncos coaching staff.
Yeah, you could see Forrest Town coming out of the backfield here, just busted coverage. Nobody picks the running back up coming out of the backfield. You can see nobody around him, and Forrest Town just has nothing but daylight in front of him, and you can see he's a big, strong runner there.
Quick pass here, and the ball was knocked down. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage as Zachary has moved inside the Livingston Parish Convention and Visitors Bureau red zone. Barclay Miller, 6'1", 230 pounds, a great attitude, great motor, 3-year starter. He's caught a couple touchdown passes this season. We saw him catch one last week against U-High. 2nd down and 10. Watch DQ Henry in the slot here, Jason. He's caught 2 touchdown passes. Instead, they give it to Town, and Town is into the end zone. Touchdown, Broncos.
Yeah, and again, you can see Forrest Town was actually their starting running back during the year, and he got hurt, and you can see how well he can run the football. More than north and south runner, runs full steam ahead, as you can see right there, and, you know, he wasn't going to be denied the straight give off of the zone read, and here you go on the replay. You can see here, reads it well. There's an opening in the middle for Forrest Town, and just straight north and south into the end zone. Great run there, and Zachary's able to put some points up again before the half.
Thomas McHugh in through the uprights is that kick. Oh, no, he just missed it to the right. So we'll stay here. Thomas McHugh misses the extra point. And Forrest Town, his 6th touchdown of the season.
I didn't want to work the kick because, you know. Hey, where's Bell at? Hey, go get Bell.
So Drew Nettles is going to have to, we've seen their offense now here for just about 6 quarters. We know they're not really a quick striking team. So he's going to have to hope, 1, stay away from the turnovers. His defense, I think, is going to need to force some turnovers, and hopefully they can maybe break off a big run with Bracey or maybe get something generated in the passing game.
Yeah, it's almost like deja vu. I mean, about the same situation that they were facing last week against U-High. U-High got off to a very quick start, got some quick scores. Again, you know, Denham Springs had one good possession in the first half. You can see they have 7 points, but they're in a similar situation here, and you're right. They don't have one of these quick strike offenses, so what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to stop Zachary from driving the ball. They're going to have to get that offense off the field, and Denham Springs is going to have to get some consistency on offense.
Kickoff there by Nathan Lowry. Short kick. Jabaris Thompson up to about the 31-yard line, and that's about it, as he was tackled on the play by Sylvester Perkins, number 73. So 1st and 10 for Denham Springs. They have 2 timeouts left, and we'll see if maybe they can possibly hit some big play in the passing game. They'd like to get it to Keandre Brooks. He's one of their big-time wide receivers. And there's a look at the U.S. Marine scoring drive, finished off by Forrest Town.
Yeah, and I would also put number 4 back on the field, Jabari Thomas. He's got some real speed, and if you're looking for an explosive play, get it in his hands.
Well, they got 4 wide receivers. Here comes the blitz, and the quick pass is caught on the play. That's Elton Knight, who is escorted out of bounds defensively by Jordan Hunter, a junior. Only a pickup of a couple yards. It does stop the clock, and they move it up to the 33-yard line, give them 3 yards on the pass play. Well, Kitchen does look a lot more confident in this game. Last week was a big stage for him. You're playing against U High, arguably the number 1 team in the state. Cox Ford Game of the Week's in town. This week he seems a little bit more in control, and it's definitely led to better results for him. Well, it'll go on the ground here. Here's B.J. Armstrong. Armstrong crossed the 45 into Zachary territory before he's wrestled down to the ground at about the 47-yard line. That's exactly what they needed. Kari Lowe makes the stop. Clock stops with 63 seconds left.
Yeah, you can see a quick hitter on the zone read, and B.J. Armstrong is really the shifty, quicker of the backs who has great speed, and you can see a big pickup there.
23 yards is his longest. I think he might have passed it. Nice pass there by Kitchen, and it's caught by Knight. Great play there as he got hammered. Elton Knight, now 6 catches on the season.
You know, and another first down, and I tell you what, to say a team that likes to grind it out, they're looking pretty good in this hurry-up offense here towards the end of the half.
4 wide receivers once again. They got a little momentum here, and I'm not sure what happened here. I don't see a flag. I don't think the officials were set with the chain there. I don't know. I think they got 2nd down on the yard marker on the far side, so I guess that was a play of some sort that Denham Springs downed it.
Yeah, I mean, the players didn't look like they knew what was going on. I mean, if there was a play going or had it been dead, and then Torres Kitchen right towards the end just spiked it. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to stop the clock.
It seemed to me, I think the players thought the play never happened even though the ball was snapped.
Well, they're still trying to sort this thing out. I can see them down there conferencing.
But every second matters here. So you got to figure out, the downs isn't really the big thing. Let's take a look at what might have possibly happened.
And Torres Kitchen looks confused. I mean, that's not your normal spike if you want to spike the football and stop the clock. I mean, he was looking like that play was going to develop, turned around, wasn't sure what was going on, and just spiked the football in the ground.
There must have been some sort of whistle they heard, or one of the officials had said that play can't start. Again, they were trying to get the chain set on the far side. Well, while they try to sort this out, I want to tell everyone to tune in for the State Farm Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show Friday nights this fall from 9:30 to 11:30 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and simulcasting on 104.9 FM. Host Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy recap scores from all around the state and much more. The State Farm Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show Friday nights this fall from 9:30 to 11:30 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and simulcasting on 104.9 FM. So they got to discuss this here. Still trying to figure out what's going on.
That is an incomplete pass in the vicinity. 2nd down.
Okay. 2nd down. basically spiked. Again, I don't know if some of the, maybe Denham Springs did call for a spike. I don't know.
Well, he looked like he was waiting for his receivers to run down the field. You know, I didn't know if he was trying to pull off one of these Matthew Stafford plays with Detroit last week. But it fooled everybody, probably including himself.
So 2nd and 10. Let's just forget about that. Now he heaves it towards the end zone. And the ball batted around. Intercepted on the play. What a great job by Phillip Brooks. That was exactly how you draw it up when you do the tip drill, Jason.
Tip ball drill, yeah. And again, you know, Torres Kinchin had his receiver running. Here you go. You can see
Keandre Brooks,
the receiver running. Looked like he might have had a step. Big guy. Looked like he was going to try to go for a jump ball, but again, good defensive play. Gets his hands up in there.
Quentin Townsell got up there, knocked the ball, and nice interception by Brooks. So a great way to end the first half for Zachary. It was worth a shot for Denham Springs. It's their second turnover of the night. I don't think this one will be as costly, but they had an opportunity, and they were, I don't want to say they were playing with house money there, and the fact that you didn't think they were going to be able to get that quickly into a scoring position, but they had the opportunity, unfortunately just couldn't finish it off. This is Forest Town. Nice hard run there for about 8 yards. You don't want to see, if you're Denham Springs, you don't want to see them break a long run here and have another chance, but I think maybe one more play for Zachary, if that. And actually, this will be the final play of our first half.
But, you know, Denham didn't have to go for it all right there. Yeah. They still had about 40 seconds left, and, you know, they had some success throwing some quick routes, some quick hitters, and, you know, if it wasn't there, he should have just thrown it away because he was well covered.
So the Zachary Broncos, they have scored the last 16 points in this game. It was once tied at 7. Zachary has been able to take advantage of some excellent play from their quarterback, Lindsey Scott. Forest Town has ran the ball well. DQ Henry has a couple of touchdown catches, and Zachary's defense has played very well. And this was a bit of a concern for Coach Neil Weiner, knowing how big that offensive line for Denham Springs is. But they've been able to stand up to them, and they've done a nice job trying to control the Yellow Jackets running game. Now let's go to Blair, who has Coach Neil Weiner.
Thanks, guys. Coach, a little bit of confusion here toward the end of the second quarter. What was going on?
Well, they kind of had a little screw up there. They snapped the ball before the rest of the players were ready, and the quarterback stood there and then just spiked it, which should be intentional grounding. You have to, if you're going to clock it, it's got to be under center, and it's got to be immediately after the snap, and it wasn't. And I just don't think we got that right. But luckily, our players made a great play, and it did end up making a difference. But it could have. They could have kicked the field goal. They could have scored a touchdown on that play, but our kids made a great play, so it didn't matter.
And coming into this game offensively, a little bit different than what you're used to because of injury, but you also got a player back tonight, a player that's proved to be pretty important for Forest Town.
Yeah, Forrest has been a great kid for us the last 4 years, and he's starting to feel better and better every week, and he showed a little burst right there that we knew he was capable of.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, Forest Town has one of the 3 touchdowns for the Zachary Broncos. DQ Henry has one, and then there was also a field goal by Thomas McHugh. And Zachary leads it 23-7. When we come back, we'll have our Contour halftime show festivities. It's also homecoming here at Zachary, so a lot to get to on the Cox Ford Game of the Week on CST.
Coming from Zachary, Central, and Denham. Coming for the all-new 2014s now on site at Brian Harris Chevrolet. The 2014 Chevy Cruze, now just $16,995. The all-new Malibu, just $19,995. Save big on the all-new 2014 Camaro, intro priced at $22,495. No matter where you start, finish with our best price on a 2014. Find new roads to Brian Harris Chevrolet on Florida.
Enjoy the sweet life at Comfort Suites Oil Center, Lafayette's newest all-suite hotel. You can always count on spacious guest rooms, affordable rates, and true Southern hospitality. Plenty of extras such as hot buffet breakfast, free high-speed internet, exercise room and swimming pool, and a well-appointed conference room. Call for reservations today at 337-456-8390 or visit us online at www.choicehotels.com. Comfort Suites Hotel in Lafayette, 114 Rue Ferdinand, off Pinhook behind Chili's.
The 48th Greater Baton Rouge State Fair is back October 24th through November 3rd. Right on the best all-new Midway in South Louisiana with more than 40 thrilling rides, great food and music, the all-new Noah's Way Petting Zoo, and much more. Go to gbrsf.com for special discount tickets. Make a memory at the Greater Baton Rouge State Fair October 24th through November 3rd on Airline Highway at the fairgrounds. Go to gbrsf.com.
For over 40 years, Louisiana's original coffee put the joie into vie with its big, rich flavor. Now, Mellow Joy is back, and people are waking up to the original Cajun coffee. At work, the joy continues with a full line of satisfying coffees. Dark roast, between roast, medium roast, and decaffeinated. Of course, some people take their joy where their work takes them. Our best restaurants have discovered Mellow Joy as the perfect ending to a fine meal. Experience pure joy, Mellow Joy coffee.
The Cox 4 Game of the Week halftime show is brought to you by Contour, a game-changing TV experience from Cox, so personal that it shapes uniquely to each individual user. Jeff Palermo, Jason DeQuare, and Blair Bainey from Zachary High School, week 9 of the high school football season, and the Zachary Broncos on their way to a 6-3 record as they lead the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets 23-7, thanks to 2 touchdown catches by the senior DQ Henry. Now let's send it down to the field and find out who our teachers of the week are.
Thanks, Jeff. We're talking to our teachers of the week, and we're going to start with Brian from Zachary because it's homecoming for you guys. It's very exciting. And tell us what you teach and how long you've been a teacher.
I teach math at the high school here. This year I'm teaching algebra 2, and I've only been here 4 years.
Okay, and what do you love about teaching? Obviously, you're very good at it, getting this award. What do you like so much about it?
Just in the interaction with the students.
Did you
seeing the look on their face when they get it.
A lot of teachers say that. And as far as getting this award, did you think, is this a big surprise?
It's a very big surprise. I didn't expect it.
You made quite an impression in 4 years.
Apparently.
Congratulations to you. And then we're going to talk to Kristen. She's our teacher of the week from Denham Springs. And Kristen, tell us what you teach and how long you've been a teacher.
I teach English 3, which is junior English, and I have been a teacher for 17 years.
And you're the sponsor of the cheerleading squad, right?
Dance team.
Or dance team,
yes,
okay.
The Jackettes.
The Jackettes. And what's that like?
That's an experience in itself, but they become more like my daughters.
I'm sure. And how do you feel to get this award?
I'm honored, and I was completely surprised. Mr. Jones told me about it on Wednesday, and I was thrilled.
Everyone's so modest. I love it. I love it. Well, a big congratulations to you two, and a big thank you to Crown Trophy for these beautiful plaques, and of course to ITI for sponsoring this segment. And for now, back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Blair. Halftime festivities from Zachary High School as they are introducing the homecoming court. We'll have more of the Cox 4 Game of the Week and the Contour halftime show after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College. Do you want a better life?
Get your associate's degree in occupational studies in information technology from ITI. In 2 years, you'll be on your way to a better life. You will get hands-on specialized training in computers, hardware and software, networking, and more. ITI offers flexible class schedules, and financial aid is available to those who qualify.
So don't wait. Call ITI now or go online. It's that simple.
ITI for a better life.
I'm Leighton Ricks, Livingston Parish, and Livingston Parish is on the move. One of the primary things that we ran on was developing business and jobs in Livingston Parish for our people so that we can bring, obviously, additional revenue to be able to support our infrastructure needs. We're going to continue to progress here in Livingston Parish. When everybody comes together, these kind of things happen. I mean, what can you say? It's absolutely awesome. It's the perfect place to be. It's where you want to be today, I can guarantee you that.
Who do you call when you've been in an auto accident? Call Donaldsonville Glass and Body. We'll tell you when. Take care of all your body work so you can get back on the road. Rated #1 by customers and preferred by most insurance companies for their quality work. We can handle all your auto glass needs too. At Donaldsonville Glass and Body, we not only care about your vehicle, but more importantly, we care about you.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the soccer star to the soccer mom. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
23-7 is our score as the Zachary Broncos leading the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets at halftime from the Bronco Corral, week 9 of the high school football season. And the Ragin' Cajun Network returns to Cox 4 tomorrow as the 5-2 Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns take on New Mexico State at Cajun Field for homecoming. Kickoff is at 4 o'clock exclusively on Cox 4. Myself, Scott Brasda, will have the call for that one. We'll also have Louisiana basketball for you as well as they take on McNeese State. That's on November 12th. That's a Tuesday night. The Sun Belt preseason coaches poll came out this week. The Cajuns picked the finish 4th. They did get a first place vote. And then we'll also have one more football game on the Ragin' Cajun Network as UL will take on South Alabama in the regular season finale. Right now, the Cajuns undefeated in league play with a record of 3-0, and they may have to wrap up the conference championship with that game in Mobile on December 7th. Still don't know the time for that one, but definitely check us out tomorrow at 4 o'clock for Louisiana against New Mexico State. Now let's send it down to the field and find out who our Scholars of the Week are. Blair?
We're down here with our Students of the Week now, and we're going to start with Maya from Zachary. And Maya, tell us, what year are you in school?
I'm a senior at Zachary High.
So do you have some big plans for next year?
Yeah, I want to be an architect. I'm not exactly sure what college I want to go to, but I'm pretty sure I want to be an architect.
All right. Well, and as far as this year, your last year at Zachary High, things you're involved in, I'm sure it's quite a bit. Tell us about that.
Okay, I'm in French Club, Beta Club. I'm president of National Honor Society. And I work on the newspaper as well. It takes up a lot of my time, and it's very rigorous, but I also like to have a lot of fun as well. So
you're not busy at all. Congratulations to you. And now we have our Denham Springs Student of the Week, Sydney. And Sydney, you're a senior too, right?
I am. Yes, ma'am, I am.
Obviously a cheerleader. What else are you involved in?
I'm also in Key Club, FCA, Senior National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, and JAD.
Another lazy student. Y'all are so crazy. And as far as next year goes, do you have any plans yet as far as what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am. I plan to attend Southeastern and go into nursing.
All right. Well, congratulations to you and good luck to both of you. Another big thanks to ITI and to Crown Trophy. Back to you.
And thanks a lot, Blair, as the halftime festivities continue with the introduction of the homecoming court. Zachary leading Denham Springs 23-7. We'll go ahead and take another break. When we come back, we'll have a look at some of our first half highlights and much more as we continue with the Contour halftime show on the Cox 4 Game of the Week on CST.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from those that serve ACEs to those that serve others. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
The only inside go-kart racing in Louisiana. Rockstars Fast, Rockstars Fun, and Rockstars Real. Face it, Rockstar is for kids. Race like a rock star. We have an indoor and outdoor track. 225-214-0045. So, let's do it. Rockstar Racing. A real racing experience.
The Ohio State University. The University of Texas Southern University.
California, Berkeley.
Old Dominion University. Harvard University.
The University of Virginia.
Texas A&M. Norfolk State University. University. Arizona State. Pennsylvania State University.
aboard the Marines.
Do you need to say great job, congratulations, or way to go? Crown Trophy on Sherwood Forest Boulevard in Baton Rouge has the trophy, plaque, acrylic, or crystal award you're looking for. Whether it's for your team, business, or church, come to Crown Trophy. We guarantee the highest level of customer service, and there's no charge for rush orders or trophy engraving. We're nationally known and locally owned. Visit us online to view our catalog at www.crowntrophy.com.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from long drivers to unlucky drivers. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Palermo and Jason DeQuare from Zachary High School. 23-7 is our score as the Broncos leading the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets. A win here for Zachary. That will up their record to 6-3, and most likely, Jason, they will probably be hosting a playoff game in the first round, and that's something you strive for.
Well, I'm sure Coach Weiner has that going through their minds tonight. They're already on an emotional high. It's a homecoming night, but they really started out very powerful in the first half. They got off to a quick lead, and now they've got to maintain that lead and ultimately be victorious if they're going to host that playoff game. However, for Denham Springs, they've got to get more consistency on offense. We saw this last week as they fell behind to U High very early. They got to come out with a lot of emotion here and try to get back into this football game.
Well, we'll take a look at our first half highlights a little bit later on, but first let's go back to the field and Blair Bainey.
Thanks, guys. Well, you know, the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank is a big part of what we do with the Coxville Game of the Week because of our football, food, and family segment. Now, throughout the season, a lot of our schools do participate in a food drive, and it's always really, really great because they collect food for the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, and of course, that helps people who are in need. Now, just a few facts about the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. They do serve the entire Greater Baton Rouge area. They're able to provide 5 meals for every dollar donated, and they provide food for about 120 charitable organizations, which is pretty amazing stuff. If you want more information or want to find out more ways that you can help, you can log on to brfoodbank.org. And a big thank you to Domino's for sponsoring our football, food, and families segment. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Blair. 23-7, our halftime score. When we come back, we'll look at our first half highlights, check out all our scoring plays, and a big interception at the end of the first half as well. So that and much more as we continue with the Contour Halftime Show on the Cox 4 Game of the Week.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College. Do you want a better life?
Get your associate's degree in occupational studies in information technology from ITI. In 2 years, you'll be on your way to a better life. You will get hands-on specialized training in computers, hardware and software, networking, and more. ITI offers flexible class schedules, and financial aid is available to those who qualify.
So don't wait. Call ITI now or go online. It's that simple.
ITI for a better life.
I'm Leighton Ricks, Livingston Parish, and Livingston Parish is on the move. One of the primary things that we ran on was developing business and jobs in Livingston Parish for our people so that we can bring, obviously, additional revenue to be able to support our infrastructure needs. We're going to continue to progress here in Livingston Parish. When everybody comes together, these kind of things happen. I mean, what can you say? It's absolutely awesome. It's the perfect place to be. It's where you want to be today. I can guarantee you that.
Who do you call when you've been in an auto accident? Call Donaldsonville Glass and Body. We'll tow you in, take care of all your body work so you can get back on the road. Rated #1 by customers and preferred by most insurance companies for their quality work. We can handle all your auto glass needs too. At Donaldsonville Glass and Body, we not only care about your vehicle, but more importantly, we care about you.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the soccer star to the soccer mom. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
23-7 is our score from the Bronco Corral here on the campus of Zachary High School. Jeff Palermo along with Jason DeQuire as the Zachary Broncos in control on homecoming night. Let's take a look at the standings in their district. Both of these teams came in with the same records in district play, 2-2. You see Central dominating. You saw Central earlier this season. A little surprised to see that you saw their only loss, 7-1 when they lost to Jesuit.
Yeah, no, and I'm not surprised. I knew they had a ton of talent on that team. Jesuits just caught them on an off day, and you can see that's their only loss. And I think Central is, obviously right now leading this division and a very good team.
Got to give a lot of credit to Broadmoor, too. 2-2 in district play, moving up to Class 5A this season. And Scotlandville is one of the best teams in the area. Definitely a squad we hope to see in the playoffs. All right, let's take a look now at our first half highlights from this one as both teams got on the scoreboard early, in fact, scoring on their opening drives of the night. The Zachary Broncos got the ball to begin this football game and quickly to DQ Henry, Jason.
Yeah, and they left him alone. They didn't guard DQ Henry twice tonight, and if you don't cover him, it's going to be easy for him to get in the end zone. You saw a quick strike there, and then you got to see the speedster from Denham Springs, Jabari Thomas, and you see all he needs is a little daylight, and he can take it the distance. They need to get him the ball in the second half so he can do that again.
I'll go ahead, Jason.
Well, and then you saw the little trickery here, the fake fullback run there, and then a toss over the top to DQ Henry the second time they left him uncovered.
Here was our play towards the end of the half. Tip drill executed perfectly, and you have the interception. Phillip Brooks getting to pick off any net scoring threat there for Denham Springs as they tried to put some points up before halftime. Now they'll get the ball to begin the third quarter, and they can stay with that ground and pound style and maybe try to punch it in the end zone and get the momentum back on their side.
Yeah, and at times, again, Denham Springs has looked good running the football, but we saw a turnover, on a pitch play. It goes off the helmet of the running back and a big turnover, and that accounted for one of the scores. But, they can still get back in this football game running the ball, but I think they're going to have to do some other things, like maybe get Jabari Thomas the ball or maybe even test some of these defensive backs for Zachary.
Even though Kitchen threw that interception towards the end of the first half, he has thrown the football well. He's completed a high percentage of passes, so maybe Coach Nettles does have a little more confidence in that passing game.
Yeah, and he might, because he has thrown it more than he did last week, and when he's thrown the ball, he's looked good, throwing the ball some this week. But, for that Zachary team, they've looked good running their spread offense as well, and, they want to keep Lindsey Scott consistent and continuing to run this Zachary offense.
Well, this is an important game for both of these teams. First of all, for the Zachary Broncos, they want to host a first-round playoff game. They come into this game number 13 in the Class 5A power ratings. For Denham Springs, they're number 30, so they need to get a win either tonight or possibly next week to get into the playoffs. This is the top 10 right now. Destrehan right now is at 8-0, but of course they forfeited last week, so that's going to get readjusted once the power rankings are official at the end of 10 weeks. But East Ascension has been really good this season. We saw Dutchtown earlier this year. They had an off night against Catholic, but they're definitely a team to be reckoned with. And you see Central, they're in the top 10 as well. Parkway is a good team, too, Parkway is really good with Brandon Harris, but New Iberia, a good team as well. That's an excellent football team in New Iberia. Definitely a team to watch. So these Class 5A playoffs, there's a lot of good teams there. Of course, we got the select and non-select there, but whoever wins this 5A playoff division, they're definitely truly a champion, because there's going to be a lot of good teams you got to get through to get to the Superdome.
No, that's right. And there's been a lot of talk about the select, non-select, and would you have a true champion, if you win in either of the divisions. But it doesn't matter. Like you just showed, they have some good football teams in 5A and the non-select. And if whoever prevails and wins the 5A, I think they can still say, hey, we've gone through some pretty good big-time opponents to get there.
Well, it should be a lot of fun. We're a week from Sunday away from pairings. It's amazing how fast the season has gone by, but that's where we're at this point. 23-7 is our halftime score. The Zachary Broncos looking to improve to 6-3. Denham Springs trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. We'll take our final break of the Contour halftime show. When we come back, second half action from the Bronco Corral on the campus of Zachary High School on the Cox Ford Game of the Week on CST.
Just announced. Minimum discounts save you the max at Brian Harris Chrysler Jeep. First time ever. Minimum discounts of $2,500 on new Jeep Patriot and Compass. $2,500 minimum. That's the least you'll get. Make your best deal. Then get $1,500 minimum on new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. Or a minimum $6,000 off 2013 Chrysler 300s. Plus, see the all-new 2014 Cherokee during the Jeep Celebration event at Brian Harris Chrysler Jeep on Airline.
Hello, Domino's, can I take your order? Was that Terry or Mary? Let's be honest, ordering Domino's over the phone isn't always that great. Gary. Oh, I was way off. Can I put you on hold for 1 second? Hey, I'm back. No one's on this line.
But the new Domino's.com is easier than ever. Now you can save your favorite order, all your info, and then reorder in as little as 30 seconds. Way faster than calling the store.
Hello, you in a tunnel? Am I in a tunnel? No.
Order 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for just $5.99 each at Domino's.com and see how fast it really is.
Test.
23-7 is our score. Drew Nettles hoping his team can make a huge comeback in the second half. It's homecoming here at Zachary, so we got to find out who the homecoming queen is. And for that, we go to Blair Bainey. Blair?
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, down here with a very excited, newly crowned homecoming queen, Brianna Hilton, and her dad, Daryl. They're both all smiles, and you can see why. Just here at halftime, she was crowned the homecoming queen for Zachary. And Brianna, tell us how you feel. Are you like totally taken, just caught off guard?
Very caught off guard. I'm so excited. I don't think it hasn't sunk in yet. But I'm really excited.
You look beautiful, and I know you got to be excited. And as far as what you're involved in at Zachary High, tell us some of the other honors and things that you've done here.
I'm an upper class mentor for my school. I'm also involved in Interact Club, so yeah.
Congratulations to you. And Dad, I know you were so proud. Did you expect this at all? You were telling me you're like totally surprised.
I was. We all are. My wife and the family were all sitting in the stands. We were all just really taken aback because we were trying to tell Brianna that if she doesn't win, the world is going to still continue to turn and everything is going to be fine. But when they called her name, we both nearly fell down.
Oh, it's so exciting, so much fun to see this happen because I know what an honor it is. Just so excited for you. So congratulations, enjoy it. And for now, it's almost time to get back to the game. So back to you guys.
Game. Good timing there, and Nathan Lowry's kick goes out of bounds, so Denham Springs will have good field position to begin the second half.
Yeah, and they're going to need that. Obviously they want to get this running game going. They're going to start off with good field position. But, Denham Springs needs to make this a statement drive right here. If they want to get back into this football game, they need to come out on this drive, establish their offense, and really get themselves going.
So the football will be marked at the 35-yard line for Denham Springs. Torres Kinchin has gone to distance, the starting quarterback for the Yellow Jackets, who love playing that physical style of football, but they're going to have to turn it up a notch here and see if they can't hit some plays through the air to make some things happen. Keandre Brooks, he's a good receiver. We saw Bailey Holstein make a nice catch earlier in this game. So they got some weapons, and we'll see how they take advantage of them. Anthony Bracey, the running back here, and a man in motion to the near side. That's Satcher. Play action fake. And Kitchen's got a man, and that pass is caught. And a nice grab by Holstein, very close to the first down marker before he's finally tackled. I think he does have the first down. Timothy Carr, a very smart junior defensive back for the Broncos, makes the stop. But a first down play there for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, and I love the play call by Drew Nettles on the first play from the scrimmage at the start of the half. They obviously think that Bracey's going to get the ball, and they're all crowding the line of scrimmage. A nice rollout, good safe play, and good pickup, 10 yards on the first down.
Now they go to the ground. Bracey to the outside, and he picks up about 4 on the play. Nice job there by Bracey. Saw it was all clogged up in the middle. Took it to the outside. Payne was Chateau on the stop there for the Broncos. Defensive coordinator Cade Worsham for Zachary. Zachary last season gave up 40 or more points in 6 of their 11 games. This year they're only allowing 23 points a contest as the tackling has really improved for this group. Second down and 6. One wide receiver to the near side, that's Brooks. And they ran this play earlier in the game, and it resulted in a touchdown. And this time, it results in a first down for Nolan Satcher making the carry on that play. And that is another Yellow Jackets first down.
Well, and we see Drew Nettles coming out after the half. He's actually showing some different stuff. He's trying to stretch the field a little bit. You can see he's running more of these jet sweeps and reverses. As we mentioned on the first play, a good rollout and something different than just smash mouth and off the tackles. And, he's going to try a couple different things this half.
Phillip Brooks on the stop for the Broncos. First down, and now here's B.J. Armstrong. Armstrong behind the right guard. Gets all the way up to the 36-yard line. Pickup of about 6. Great drive here to begin the game for Denham Springs, who scored on their opening drive of the night to tie the game at 7, and then it was all Zachary after that.
And this is what we said they needed. And we've seen them move the ball at times, but they've got to finish this drive. This drive is going to be critical to establishing their presence and getting them back into this game.
Scoring points has been an issue. They've been able to move the ball really between, the two 20-yard lines, and then it's somewhere around there that the drive eventually stalls, and that has happened here a couple times tonight. Second out and 4, Zachary showing some pressure here, and they're going to get it to the backfield, and that's going to be a loss of yards. Brian Davis there for the Zachary Broncos, maybe a loss of a yard or so. The senior defensive end made a nice stop on the play, bringing up third down.
Yeah, and this play looked blown up from the beginning. There seemed to have been some confusion in the backfield, some mistiming with the running back, and Torres Kinchin was really left out there trying to extend the ball to his running back, and they actually barely got that handoff off.
There you take a look at Brian Davis, Matthew Morgan, Matthew Bowman, the other defensive lineman for Zachary. Third down and 5. And now they're going to hand it off to Satcher again. He makes one man miss and makes another man miss, but then finally brought down on the play a few yards shy of the first down as he was tackled finally on the play by Kari Lowe, but Satcher showing some good moves to at least pick up a couple yards, and they got fourth down and a long yard, and this is a huge play early in this third quarter.
Yeah, and on that play, Zachary's Brian Davis really looked like he had him in the backfield, but as you mentioned, Satcher made some good moves to get around him and at least give them an opportunity for a short yardage situation here on fourth down.
Well, you know who's going to get the football here, number 33, Anthony Bracey. And he does get it. He puts his head down, and Zachary looks like they have stopped him right at the line of scrimmage. That was a heck of a play by the Broncos to get there and shut that play down. Last man off that pile for Zachary, Avery Neal. Also there defensively, Brian Davis, who had a couple of nice plays on that drive. And so once again, Denham Springs looked like they had something going, and eventually the drive stalls.
Yeah, and here we go. As you mentioned, the whole stadium knew that it was going to Bracey. And you can see here that Zachary just manned up and, had more numbers there. There was really no place for Bracey to go, and he just couldn't drive that yard.
Zachary takes over for the first time in a swing pass, and getting cut down on the play really quick was Keon Brown. Brown actually loses a couple of yards. Nice job there by the Denham Springs defense, led by Zach Stewart. Stewart came into this game with just 8 tackles, made a nice play there to the junior defensive back. Loss of about 3 there, Jason, underneath 8 minutes to go in this third quarter. Denham Springs showing a blitz here, and I think Brown, there's a flag down. Scott throws, and the pass is caught by Kentrell Fisher. Fisher across the 30 and then hit from behind and brought down. Huge play. We have to see what the flag is all about, and I think it's coming back, and it is. Illegal motion called on Zachary. I'm surprised they let that play go.
Yeah, I thought they were going to call it dead earlier too, but you could see they ran the speedster Kentrell Fisher down the field, but it was all for naught as this play is coming back in legal motion. And again, another big break for Denham Springs because they didn't finish that earlier drive, but now they got to get Zachary off the field.
They have an excellent opportunity here with Zachary facing second down and long. Again, the Yellow Jackets, what they really need is a turnover. As you'll see, the running back, Keon Brown, just can't hold the position long enough. And usually, plays listed dead there. But anyway, second out and long. Now Brown's in motion again. A low snap, and going down for a loss is going to be Lindsey Scott. First defender there for the Yellow Jackets, Cole Spear. And there were a couple other Jackets there as well, and it's third down and long now for Zachary.
Yeah, one thing about the spread offense, it's all about the snap, and if that center snaps the ball and it's a low snap, you'll see here, it disrupts everything. It disrupts the timing. You can't get that fullback or that running back read off, and by the time you're able to corral the football, you can see you got 3 Denham Springs players on top of it.
David Whale also there defensively. Remember, Zachary's starting center, Jared Durr, is likely out for the season, and this pass is going to be caught by Fisher. He breaks 2 tackles, still on his feet, and then he's finally brought down by Spear at about the 37. So Caleb Wilkes has moved from right tackle to center. He's the starting center for Zachary, and they've had a couple of low snaps in this game.
Well, yeah, and you see here Kentrell Fisher making a good play and then breaking a couple tackles for a 130-pound wide receiver. Obviously, he can't break enough to get to the first down, but really showing some great flashes there, and Zachary's now going to have to punt the ball. So a good job by Denham Springs getting Zachary off the football field.
Thomas McHugh on the punt, steps into it. Decent punt here. Cole Spear will let that one bounce out of bounds, and we'll take a break. 5:54 left in the third quarter. Still time for Denham Springs to get back in this game. We'll find out if they can after this on the Cox 4 Game of the Week on CST.
Welcome to Monogram Express, a unique embroidery boutique specializing in personalized and one-of-a-kind gift ideas. Gifts for babies, children, ladies, and even men, we have you covered. Equipped with state-of-the-art embroidery machines, along with an experienced client-focused staff serving you 6 days a week. Check out the area's largest selection of letters, designs, and thread colors. We're your one-stop embroidery shop, handling personal, corporate, team, and school logos, and you're welcome to bring in your own items. Conveniently located at 2109 Veterans. Monogram Express makes your ordinary gifts extraordinary.
The 48th Greater Baton Rouge State Fair is back October 24th through November 3rd. Right on the best all-new Midway in South Louisiana with more than 40 thrilling rides, great food and music, the all-new Noah's Way Petting Zoo, and much more. Go to gbrsf.com for special discount tickets. Make a memory at the Greater Baton Rouge State Fair October 24th through November 3rd on Airline Highway at the fairgrounds. Go to gbrsf.com.
The Cox 4 Game of the Week is brought to you by Sheriff Jason Ard. His staff's primary concern is keeping Livingston Parish a safe place to live, work, and raise a family. And by the 48th Greater Baton Rouge State Fair, which is underway through November 3rd. Right on the Midway. Visit the new Noah's Way Petting Zoo and much more. Make a memory at the Greater Baton Rouge State Fair as it continues through November 3rd on Airline Highway at the fairgrounds. And you can also go to gbrsf.com and buy Louisiana Lift. At Louisiana Lift, we're always on call.
Well, Jeff, here we go, man. Good field position again for Denham Springs, and let's see if they, they've been moving the ball and they just can't finish drives. Let's see if they can put something together that ends up in the end zone.
B.J. Armstrong on the carry, and only a couple of yards as Zachary was there, bringing him down after a couple of yards on the play. So a 2-yard pickup, 3 yards maybe. Timothy Carr, one of the defenders there for the Broncos on the stop. Zachary next week will finish off the season at home against Broadmoor, while Denham Springs could be facing a must-win situation next week against Walker. As we highlighted it at halftime, they need a win either tonight or next week to get into the playoffs. 2nd down and 8. Kitchen. He's got plenty of time here. Now he'll roll out, and he'll just have to run out of bounds. No one open downfield, and Timothy Carr helps steer him out of bounds. And he doesn't pick up any yardage on that play, maybe a half a yard, so a 3rd down and long for the Yellow Jackets.
And I'd like to see when Torres Kinchin is really healthy. You can still see that leg is not 100%. It's still bothering him. He doesn't have the explosion off of it, and he's a real capable runner when he's healthy. It's just that, he's one-dimensional at that quarterback position. He's either got to hand it off or he's got to throw it, but, you're not going to get much running out of him tonight.
He's got a bulky brace on that left knee. Matt Irwin, the starting quarterback for
for Denham Springs to begin the season, is out for the year with a broken collarbone, and this play is blown up in the backfield. Zachary shuts it down, and it looks like it's going to be a 3-and-out for this Denham Springs offense. Matthew Bowman, only 5'10", 180 pounds, but he got in there very quickly to disrupt that play and bring it up 4th and long now for the Yellow Jackets. Well, Drew Nettles looks like he'll have to punt the football away, I would imagine here. 4:35, and he does call for the punt team. Tough game for him. It's been a tough season. They knew this was going to be a bit of a transition year after having to replace 10 starters on offense, 7 starters on defense. So on the punt now for Denham Springs, Max Schuloler, and that's a good punt. Fair catch called by Henry at the 25, and that's where Zachary will take over when we come back on the Cox Ford Game of the Week on CST.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Livingston Parish is the place to locate or expand your business. Hi, I'm Randy Rogers, president of the Livingston Economic Development Council. Livingston Parish has become a choice location for business, whether industrial, commercial, retail, or health services. We have prime locations throughout the parish. When coupled with an excellent public school system, a great quality of life, and a positive pro-business attitude, Livingston Parish is the place to locate or expand your business. Let us assist your plans today.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue-collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
One of the best bands in the state, that Denham Springs Yellow Jackets band. We got to hear them loud and clear last week was we were on the Denham Springs side. This week we're in an enclosed booth here at Zachary, and can't really hear them pumping out the sounds that we enjoy to do, but they are a lot of fun to watch. A lot of fans stuck around last week after that U-High game on a chilly night to check them out.
Well, and even if the football team isn't rocking right now, the band sure is. I mean, they've been rocking over there all night, and you're right, it's a big band. They do a good job over there.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line, and here's Forest Town, who gets cut down pretty quickly by Garrett Osborne. And this Denham Springs defense, they forced a 3-and-out on Zachary's last drive, and here a nice play to begin this drive, only a pickup of 2.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is that the defense has been able to get Zachary's offense off the field. The bad news is that Denham Springs still has to get that offense going. Even if they're able to get them off the field, they've got to figure out a way to score some points.
I've said it a couple times. They need a turnover. They need a short field to work with and see if that doesn't help them put some points on the board here. Low snap once again, and a play once again. Nothing happening. Forest Town loses a yard on the carry. Caleb Wilkes was the starting right tackle. Jared Durr goes down with a serious knee injury. And there's been some adjustments there on that offensive line, and there's been some bad snaps in this game.
Well, Jeff, if they keep snapping the ball like that, your turnover's coming pretty soon. I mean, I've seen a lot of low snaps here tonight. Actually, Lindsey Scott's done a pretty good job of corralling some bad snaps. But, you know, in this spread offense, if you don't get a good snap off, it just disrupts your offense from the beginning.
3rd down and 9. And Scott, under pressure, just has to run with it. Somehow gets out of it. Now finds a man, and it's almost intercepted on the play. Javaris Thompson had a chance at it, but the ball hit the ground before he was able to corral it. So a 3-and-out for Denham Springs. The clock stops with 2:52 on the clock.
Yeah, no, the quarterback, Lindsey Scott, is coming limping off the field. Not sure if he got nicked up on that play. And, you know, you get a good look at Drew Nettles. His defense is doing the job now. He needs to talk to that offense, and they really have a chance here to get even better field position. They've changed the complete field position in this half.
Out to punt. Once again, it's Thomas McHugh. He has trouble handling it. It's a horrible punt. And there's the short field that I was talking about. Oh, we'll take a break. Denham Springs has excellent field position. Down by 16, but they'll have a chance when we come back, as this pass was almost intercepted here. Great job by Thompson. We'll be back after this.
You can live the dream life right now at Suma Crossing Apartments in Livingston Parish. Imagine easy access to I-12 and living on a deep, clear lake where your family can fish, walk, or jog anytime. And there's also a crystal clear swimming pool. Your apartment is huge with granite countertops, state-of-the-art appliances, and closets, closets, closets. It's not a dream, it's real and waiting for you. Come see Suma Crossing, exit 19 on I-12.
The only inside go-kart racing in Louisiana. Rockstars fast, Rockstars fun, and Rockstars real. Face it, Rockstar is for kids. Race like a rock star. We have an indoor and outdoor track. 225-214-0045. So, let's do it. Rockstar Racing, a real racing experience.
Coach Drew Nettles encouraging his team on, even though they're down by 16, but they got an opportunity to get back into this game as they start this drive at the Zachary 29-yard line. Kitchen, play action fake. He's got a man open. Now he goes to the end zone instead, and the ball is incomplete. Nolan Satcher, there was single coverage on him. There was another guy that was open, a little kind of running across the middle of the field in front of Satcher. So Kitchen had a couple of options there. He decided to go for it all.
Yeah, and had he led him just a little bit more to the inside, he actually had him on that route, just threw it a little bit too far behind him. But you can see Kitchen can actually throw the football. Here you go on the replay. You see Nolan Satcher actually get inside of his defender, his defensive back, and if he leads him a little bit more inside, he may have been able to make a play on the football. Still looks like he should have been able to come up with that football.
And here's Bracey to the outside, to the 20, to the 15, and then he is cut down at the 11-yard line. Big play there for Denham Springs. Finally tackled on the play by Tywan Bearden, but now Denham Springs really in business. Watch this one coming right into your living room.
Here you go. Good look at Bracey. Good ball security. Switches hands just like a running back is taught to do. And you can really see that Bracey is a solid running back.
And for Denham Springs, they are inside the Marines red zone. 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Bracey to tailback. Washington to fullback. And they'll go to the air. Little fade pattern to the end zone, and there's a collision in there. No flags. Keandre Brooks was looking for a flag. Defended on the play by Quentin Townsell, who's only 5'9". Brooks is 5'11".
Yeah, and it kind of looked like inadvertent contact. It looked like that maybe they were both going for the ball and just kind of collided with each other. I really think it was a good no call there by the referee. But Denham Springs feels they have a size matchup in that receiver defensive back combo right there, and they really tried to exploit it. And you can see here, he couldn't pick up the contact there, but
well, there's some contact right at the middle of the line of scrimmage. As nothing happening for Bracey, Zachary shuts that play down. Timothy Carr, one of the defenders there, last guy off the pile, and now 3rd down. Definitely 4-down territory here for Denham, who has to figure out a way to put this ball in the end zone.
Yeah, not only is it 4-down territory, it might also be, if they get in, 2-point conversion territory.
Yeah, right.
Because they're down by 16, and so if they can score, they might also go for the 2-point conversion.
So 3rd down and 10. After the run by Bracey, got him to the 11-yard line, nothing happening. Zachary brings the blitz, the quick pass, and dropped by Satcher. Coverage there for the Zachary Broncos was Darius Wallace, one of the Broncos there. Also P.J. Cannon there defensively.
Yeah, here you go on the replay. Satcher just has to make this catch. It's actually a good throw by Kenshin. Hits him right there in the hands, and you just got to have strong hands there, bring that ball into your body and make that catch.
Yeah, P.J. Cannon was there defensively. So 4th down, they're going to kick the field goal.
Yeah, this is interesting.
I guess they figure, scoring 2 touchdowns and getting the 2-point conversions is very difficult, so they're looking at it, hey, we need to get at least some points on the scoreboard here, and the extra point, or the field goal by Booth is good. Zach Booth hits his second field goal of the season, and so now it's a 13-point game, and there is a little momentum behind Denham Springs. We'll have more of the Cox Ford Game of the Week on CST after this.
Hello, I'm Eric Edwards with the Livingston Parish Convention and Visitors Bureau. Find out now what's going on in Livingston Parish. We have over 400 nautical miles of waterways. Tee it up at our great world-renowned golf courses. Shop at our antique districts, or come to Bass Pro, our #1 retailer. There's a lot to do in Livingston Parish that you never imagined. It's all happening right here in Livingston Parish. For more information, go online at visitlivingstonparish.com.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. If you, the proud, the Marines.
So Zach Booth with the field goal makes it a 13-point game, 28-yard field goal, his second of the season. His first year as a varsity kicker for Denham Springs. Has done a nice job for them, and now he'll boot it off. Now watch the onside kick. Booth is very good at the pooch kick. We've seen that a couple of times, and there's a short kick, and a little juggling act there, but it was handled eventually by Taiwan Bearden.
Yeah, and that's not a bad idea. I mean, that pooch kick, I mean, if they don't get any yardage on the return, they get it right there at the 30. But if you kick it deep to Kentrell Fisher, I mean, that guy's got the speed to take it to the distance. And so it almost ensures you that there won't be a run back in play.
All right, Zachary's offense has not done anything in this second half. Let's see if they can get something going as Lindsey Scott looks over the Denham Springs defense. The Yellow Jackets bringing the blitz. Scott looking to throw as they pick it up, and the pass is almost intercepted by Cole Spear. Well, that could have happened. Could have been a touchdown, too, because Forest Town had
him beat. He had him beat, and, it was just underthrown a little bit by Lindsey Scott, but almost a great one-handed interception by Cole Spear. So you're right. That could have been either an interception or it could have been a touchdown. As you can see here, Lindsey Scott just underthrows him a bit, but Cole Spear reaches out there with one hand and almost makes just a great interception. And
well, now here's Town on a nice run for Zachary, and that's going to be a first down up to the 46-yard line, and a flag flies. I think we'll have a face mask as well. So Denham Springs nearly gets the interception, and then Forest Town, who's been very productive tonight, gets a big run, and now we're looking at more yardage after it.
15-yard penalty for the end of the run. First down.
And the 15-yard variety, too, Jason, moves the ball well into Denham territory.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. Actually, that's going to sting, on top of a run. There you go. That's a clear face mask. But it looks like Forrest is getting a little bit of, that's always an interesting situation. The running back gets the stiff arm, and he gets to hit the face mask. Yeah. And as soon as the defensive back does it or defensive player does it, it's 15 yards. That's been a controversy for a while now.
Now they go to the ground here, and this is Keon Brown. Keon Brown brought down. Nice play by Zach Stewart, who's made a couple of nice open field tackles for the Yellow Jackets. A pickup of about 5 on the play, 4 actually, to the 36-yard line as we're underneath a minute to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, and Keon Brown has been relatively quiet tonight. Yeah. He had 100 yards rushing last week and 2 scores, but really Forest Town has done most of the damage in terms of the running game between Forest Town and Lindsey Scott. That's where the real yards have been racked up.
Brown does have a touchdown pass tonight, his second of the season. And here's Town, and he's hit immediately by Cole Spear, who is sneaking up. And that'll bring up third down, and most likely our final play of the third quarter. No reason for Zachary to run another play here. They are up by 13 and looking to add to that lead. You're watching the Cox 4 Game of the Week on CST, and it's now one of my favorite parts of the program as we take a look at the Donaldsonville Glass and Body Collisions of the Week.
call when you've been in an auto accident? Call Donaldsonville Glass and Body. We'll tow you in, take care of all your body work so you can get back on the road. Rated #1 by customers and preferred by most insurance companies for their quality work. We can handle all your auto glass needs too. At Donaldsonville Glass and Body, we not only care about your vehicle, but more importantly, we care about you.
Pressure, throws, and caught, and a big-time hit. Longest, I think he might have passed it. Nice pass. 3rd down and 3 coming up here and there's almost a fumble. There is a fumble. Ball on the ground, still on the ground, and somehow I think Zachary got it, but let's wait and see. Oh, boy.
Well, Barclay Miller just came in and laid the boom on this play, and that's how the ball, was
now we got an injured Denham Springs player on top of all that. Well, a lot happened there in a very quick few seconds. Well, the man down looks like that's Demal Bradley having trouble with his shoulder. Our first injury of the night to begin this 4th quarter. Jeff Palermo, Jason DeClaire, and Blair Abaney down on the sidelines. It's been a good one from Zachary High School. Homecoming night. Coach Neil Weiner told us before the game, they don't win too many homecoming games around here, and the Broncos are less than 12 minutes away from possibly getting a big win here to improve to 6-3 and locking up a first-round home playoff game.
Yeah, and if you're not winning your homecoming games, you need to talk to your scheduler. I mean, come on. I mean, if you're not scheduling a game you can win for homecoming, you need to reevaluate that, you know?
I do. I think we've had Zachary again before on homecoming. I want to say they played Central, and it was a really good game. But watch Barclay Miller.
Yeah, I mean, he
seek and destroy, right?
There you go.
Man.
He was not going to be blocked, and you were looking for that turnover, Jeff, and so was Barclay Miller.
That's actually Caleb Roddy, who's the injured Denham Springs player. So I was looking at 94, but it was 84 now that we get to see him up, and looks like he's trying to get that shoulder back in place. But the Zachary Broncos, they've had some issues here in the second half when it comes to snapping the football, getting the handoffs right. The timing just not there like it was in the first half. So 4th down here. Let's see what Neil Weiner will do. Does he go for it? No, he's got the punt team out there. Thomas McHugh, who is the grandson of Tom Ed McHugh, former East Baton Rouge mayor president, or is it president mayor?
Know the mayor well, and is from out this area.
Low snap there again, and McHugh trying to get rid of it, and he has no chance. And the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets will have great field position again. Josh Haynes finally made the stop, so Denham Springs down by 13. And here we go. They got the ball at the Zachary 40-yard line.
Yeah, here you go. And the mayor's saying, hey, my grandson's made good plays, and you highlight him on this one. But, just another bad snap. Not much on the punter there. He had to pick it up and try to do what he could with it. But, it's just like a turnover. They almost got the ball up here on the turnover by the fumble by Barclay Miller, but actually results in even better field position with the mishandled snap on the punt.
Second straight drive, Denham Springs has started in Zachary territory at the 40-yard line. Play action fake. Kitchen looks, throws, and the pass is caught. Holstein makes the grab, and he's all the way up to about the 25-yard line as Torres Kitchen's night, which has really been nice for Denham Springs, continues to be productive, and Holstein's been able to make a couple of catches as well.
Yeah, they need to let him throw a little bit more. I mean, he throws this ball in rhythm, good timing, a good strike to Holstein, on a crossing route and good pickup. And let's see if they can get something here quickly.
Can't settle for a field goal here. Really won't do them any good. So.
No. You got to get 7 now. 7 or 8, actually.
Ball at the 25-yard line. It'll go to the ground here, and not much. Broncos shutting that play down. Defensively, Payne Ricciotto, who's made us several tackles here tonight, the junior, number 50, 6 foot, 190 pounds. He's been very active in this game, holding the ball carrier to just 1 yard on that play. 2nd and 9. I think they throw the ball again here. They've had some, other than Bracey had that nice little 11-yard run and B.J. Armstrong had a nice carry. The ground game, for the most part, hasn't been able to produce like it did last week against U High.
No, and when you're this late in the ball game, I mean, you're really limited in what you can do. You got to throw the ball. You just don't have enough time to ground it out like you want to do.
They do. Play action fake. And they'll go to the end zone once again here. There's a lot of pushing and shoving, but it just goes incomplete. Nolan Satcher, incomplete. One thing that Kitchen's going to have to work on is that deep ball. There's been a couple of his deep passes where he hasn't really given his receiver a chance to catch the football.
Well, and here there was just great coverage on both. Actually, the inside receiver was double covered, and Satcher was very well covered. And by the time he let it go, there was really no chance there.
All right, 3rd down and 9 with the ball at the 24-yard line. Denham Springs trying to really make this one interesting if they can get it into the end zone. Kitchen. Well, this is Thompson actually getting a chance to carry the football, and only a yard. So now 4th down and long.
And that just tells you how, Drew Nettles, he has more confidence in his running game. He knew it was, 4-down territory, so I guess he was trying to shorten up the yardage here to go on 4th down. But, they've had some success on their slant routes, and I would look at them, maybe doing a slant or a curl route here, not trying to get it all deep going in the end zone.
Taking some time here with this. They still have 16 seconds and counting on the play clock to try to come up with a huge 4th down on the season. Denham Springs coming into this game, 6 of 23 on 4th down. They may have to burn a timeout, 4 seconds on the play clock, and they do. 9-11 left to go in this one. 23-10 Zachary, but Denham has a big 4th down coming up. We'll find out what happens after this on the Cox Ford Game of the Week on CST.
The 48th Greater Baton Rouge State Fair is back October 24th through November 3rd. Right on the best all-new Midway in South Louisiana with more than 40 thrilling rides, great food and music, the all-new Noah's Way Petting Zoo, and much more. Go to gbrsf.com for special discount tickets. Make a memory at the Greater Baton Rouge State Fair October 24th through November 3rd on Airline Highway at the fairgrounds. Go to gbrsf.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Martin, president of ITI Technical College. Do you want a better life?
Get your associate's degree in occupational studies in information technology from ITI. In 2 years, you'll be on your way to a better life. You will get hands-on specialized training in computers, hardware and software, networking, and more. ITI offers flexible class schedules, and financial aid is available to those who qualify.
So don't wait. Call ITI now or go online. It's that simple.
ITI, for a better life.
The Cox Ford Game of the Week is brought to you by ITI Technical College. ITI believes education is an important step to finding a rewarding career in today's fast-paced world. And by Livingston Parish Convention and Visitors Bureau. From first-class golfing, endless waterways, and more. A lot to offer in Livingston Parish. And by Rockstar Racing, Baton Rouge's premier and only indoor kart racing facility. Come by after the game for a $10 special. Rockstar Racing, a fun, family-friendly environment. 4th down and 8 for Denham Springs, down by 13 as they have the football at the Zachary 23-yard line. They'll line up in a shotgun formation here. Torres Kitchen, the sophomore quarterback, needs to make a play. Zachary showing blitz, and here they come. Kitchen will just throw it at the last second. The pass is caught. Does he have enough for the 1st down, or are they saying is that an incomplete? It looks like it's an incomplete pass. He didn't have enough for the 1st down.
That's right. Even if it was complete, I really think he was short of the sticks there, and tried to get Kitchen on the rollout, something on the move, and just not a deep enough route. Didn't even make it to the sticks. Here you go. You get a good look at the play here.
I like giving the option to Kitchen if he wanted to run it. He was just kind of juggling it there, and the receiver, Nolan Satcher, just couldn't come up with the football, and he would have been shy of the 1st down marker. So now Zachary will try to get a drive going here and put this game, at least run some clock if they can't score. And they'll give it to Forest Town, and Forest Town's got a first down. All the way up to about the 37-yard line, tackled by Wes Brown. And a big first down for the Broncos.
Yeah, here you go. Another good look at Forest Town zone read. Good snap this time, and plenty of room for Forest Town to work. I mean, nobody really gets a hand on him until he gets into the secondary. And, you know, I would bet that Zachary may not put this ball up in the air on this drive.
Less than 9 minutes to go. Zachary excelling on the football field. They're also excelling in the classroom as well, as they've recently found out is keeping the football here is Lindsey Scott, and he gets brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Garrett Osborne there defensively. Well, let's find out more about the great academics here at Zachary. Blair Bainey with Wes Watts, the principal of Zachary High School.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, we're down here talking to Principal Watts, and lots to be proud of here at Zachary. Recently, you found out that for the 9th year in a row, you have the best scores in the state.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. It seems like, but it never gets old. It's harder every year, and again, it just goes back. I think tonight's just a great backdrop for the reason for our success in the Zachary Community School System is it's teamwork. Everybody from the community to our school board, to our teachers, to our students. It takes everybody.
And you were telling me this is a big year for Zachary, too, a big anniversary year, right?
Yes, 100 years of Zachary High School this year. So since 1914 was the first year, and we're playing into that this year. And there's a lot of history in this community and in this school system.
And, of course, homecoming week. Lots of students are excited about this game, the big dance. Has it been a good week?
It's been a great week. Our kids have done just such a great job with it's not always fun as an administrator and a teacher because we try to let them have some fun, but our kids have handled it very well. They always do. And so we want them to have a little fun. And it's nice that we're playing well tonight, and hopefully we can hang on here and put a big win for our football team to top it off.
Well, thank you so much, and good luck to you.
Yeah, thanks. Thank y'all for being here.
All right. Guys, back to you.
Caught on the near side by Kentrell Fisher, and once again want to thank Wes Watts, the principal for Zachary High School. And Denham Springs defense comes up with a nice defensive series there. Zachary got the first down on Forest Town, but they've been blitzing a lot in the second half, Jason, with Osborne, Tanner Kluot, and it's paying off for them. And they've been, so far, Zachary really hasn't done anything in the second half offensively as they try to hold on for this win.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've been taking some risk on defense. They've been getting Zachary off the field. Again, the only part of the equation that's not working for them is getting something going on offense. They've only got 3 points to show for it, and they've actually had good field position this half.
Another low snap, and the punt was barely got it off, was Thomas McHugh. Good field position for Zachary once again, but they got to score quickly. They're down by 13. With 6:16 left to go on the Cox Forward Game of the Week on CST.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from those that serve aces to those that serve others. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
They're coming from Zachary, Central, and Denham. Coming for the all-new 2014s now on site at Brian Harris Chevrolet. The 2014 Chevy Cruze, now just $16,995. The all-new Malibu, just $19,995. Save big on the all-new 2014 Camaro, intro priced at $22,495. No matter where you start, finish with our best price on a 2014. Find new roads to Brian Harris Chevrolet on Florida.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from long drivers to unlucky drivers. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Once again, for the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets, they got decent field position. Actually, the field position was better on their last two drives where they started in Zachary territory, but here they start at their own 45, down by 13. Kitchen rolls, looks, throws. It's a double coverage ball, batted in the air and incomplete. Well, that play they completed on the last drive, but that time Zachary was ready for it.
Yeah, and there was double coverage, but really he had Keandre Brooks on the outside on a deep curl route. He was actually open, and obviously Torres Kinchin didn't see him, and that time he forced the ball into double coverage. But again, they're going to have to keep the ball in the air if they're going to get back in the game.
So second down and 10, B.J. Armstrong will come into the game. Anthony Bracey will leave. Bracey has been fairly quiet in this game as Zachary has been able to bottle him up. 3 wide receivers on this set. Kitchen will hand it off to Armstrong. Straight ahead, a yard, and that's about it. Nice job by Zachary. Brian Davis once again making a big-time play for them. And it's third down and about 8. As Coach Drew Nuttles, knowing that clock is ticking here, hoping that his offense can hit a big play. They've had their chances. Brooks, the wide receiver, all the way to the far side. They actually got 4 wide receivers here. So as Kitchen takes the snap. And the pass is, drop. Brooks started running before he caught the football. That would have been a first down for Denham Springs and maybe much more.
Yeah, and a similar play that I mentioned earlier where Keandre Brooks had gotten open. They went back to that play. Drew Nettles must have saw he was open. And when I tell you that Torres Kinchin delivered this ball with some authority, I mean, this ball was thrown hard and right on target, and that's just one that you've got to make a catch.
Oh, boy, Brooks is going to beat himself up over that one for a long time. He's a junior. He leads the team in receptions with 21, and that would have been a huge catch. So now it's fourth down for Denham Springs again. Haven't had much luck on fourth down this season. Kitchen throws, and that time Brooks caught it. You gotta like that. You dropped the pass, you showed the confidence, and he forgot about it, and he made the grab that time. First down, Denham Springs.
Yeah, and he didn't pout, and Coach said, look, we're coming right back to you, big boy. And so, that's good. He can go right back to him, shows the confidence that the coach and the quarterback has on him. And this might have been a more difficult catch.
It was.
And he actually makes sure that he goes up, gets this one, and secures it. And that's what they want to see out of Keandre Brooks.
Now here's Armstrong, and Armstrong wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage by Avery Neal. Only a pickup of 2 as we approach the 5-minute mark in this one. I mean, Denham is just not good enough where they can just go to the air consistently. Trying to get, and Armstrong's a guy that is quick enough that maybe he can bust off a long run for you.
Yeah, and really they're going to have to start going to a no huddle here soon. I mean, they need 2 possessions. We're coming in on the 4-minute mark of this ball game, so they've got to score, get the ball back, and score again. And so they've got to be a little bit more in the hurry up here.
Second down and 8. And Armstrong does get the carry. He's got the first down and brought down at the 30-yard line. Another first down for Denham Springs. Phillip Brooks makes the stop, and the Yellow Jackets move the chains with the clock stop. 4:36 left to go.
Well, here you go. You get to see him on the zone read again. A quick hitter to B.J. Armstrong. Good hole, good run. But now they got to hurry up, get the ball going here.
Ball deflected at the line of scrimmage. Good job by Tywan Bearden, who was putting some pressure on Kitchen. Got his hands up, deflected the pass, second down.
Yeah, but that play doesn't hurt you much because it didn't take any time off the clock. Here you go, ball deflected. As soon as it's incomplete, the clock stops. You get some time to get your next play called, and let's see if you can put together a few more good plays to get the ball in the end zone.
Trips to the near side. Armstrong, the running back, to the right of Kitchen. And Armstrong gets it, and he is brought down for a loss. Zachary's defense, they've been strong throughout. Payne Rashado, who's been in on a bunch of tackles, brings down Armstrong after a loss of 2.
Yeah, and I mean, I know they have confidence in their running game, and, that's their bread and butter. But, if it's not there, you got to go to the air. There's only a little bit of time left in this game, and, that's where Coach Nettles needs to be focused right now.
And that's where they're going to go right now. Third down, plenty of time for Kitchen. No one's open, though. Now looking back to the other side, and a man does free up. It's caught at the 25, short of the first down. Bailey Holstein makes the grab. It will bring up 4th down and about 4. Denham just converted on 4th down. Can they do it again?
Yeah, but they got to hurry up here. I mean, the clock is still running. Yeah, you made the completion, but let's go. Let's get in the huddle. And obviously you want to make sure that you get a good play call. It's 4th down. You don't want to turn the ball over here. You need to pick up the 5 yards.
Denham Springs calls timeout. 3:27 left to go in the game. A big 4th down when we come back on the Cox Ford Game of the Week on CST.
Before you hit the roads, head to Donaldsonville Glass and Body and replace those tires with name brand tires like Michelin LTX MS2s. Because the right tire changes everything. And when it comes to service, we do it all. Brakes, wheel alignments, oil changes, inspections, and more. With over 35 years of service, we are driven to handle all of your car and truck needs. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, located on the corner of Marchand Drive and Railroad Avenue.
I'm Leighton Ricks, Livingston Parish, and Livingston Parish is on the move. One of the primary things that we ran on was developing business and jobs in Livingston Parish for our people so that we can bring, obviously, additional revenue to be able to support our infrastructure needs. We're going to continue to progress here in Livingston Parish. When everybody comes together, these kind of things happen. I mean, what can you say? It's absolutely awesome. It's the perfect place to be. It's where you want to be today. I can guarantee you that.
Coach Drew Nettles hoping for a big offensive play here on 4th down and 4. Down by 13, looking to try to snap a 3-game losing streak. The Zachary Broncos looking to get to 6 wins on the year. 4th down and 4.
Yeah, and I would get a look for Brooks again. I really like the size, the matchup that he has on his defensive back. He's isolated down at the bottom of your screen.
Pass over the middle. It's caught on the play, and it should be enough for the 1st down. Nice grab by Nolan Satcher. The defender was all over him, almost stripped the football away. So another 4th down conversion for Denham Springs.
Yeah, big conversion. Denham Springs still has life here. You know, they need to get back in the huddle, get the play off, though. I mean, the time is still running. It's getting close to 3 minutes, and they still need 2 scores. So they need to get in and out of the huddle, a little more urgency.
And they are inside the Livingston Parish President Leighton Ricks red zone. And this looks like a busted play here for Kitchen. He's just going to have to run it, and he does get out of bounds. And I think he got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it.
Yeah, but the most important thing is he got out of bounds. He stopped the clock. He didn't get tackled in bounds. And, you know, they get a chance to kind of reset here, get a good play call, and maybe take a shot to the end zone.
Jabarius Thompson coming back into the game for Denham Springs. He's got the lone touchdown of the night for the Yellow Jackets, number 4. Lined up as a running back. You got to watch here as him and Armstrong flank Torres Kitchen. And here's Thompson. Thompson needs a block, and he stumbles and falls at the 20-yard line. There really wasn't much room for him to run. Timothy Carr was there defensively, and another 3rd down and long for the Yellow Jackets as they quickly get the play in, huddle up, and try to get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and anytime number 4 comes in the game, he's obviously touched the football, and I'm sure Zachary and Coach Weiner knew that when number 4 checked in, he was likely going to get the football in his hands.
Under 2.5 here as they try to line up and get a play off. Looks like, and it's dropped by Satcher, and Satcher, does he get back on it? I think there was going to be a double pass on that play. Now they're going to say that's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, it looked like it hit the ground, and you're right. It was going to be a double pass, but, you know, even looking at the receivers, they were well covered, so I don't think they had any of the Zachary Broncos fooled and almost turned the ball over when they threw that lateral behind the line of scrimmage.
4th down again for Denham. They've converted twice on 4th down, so it's an incomplete pass. Well, that would have been interesting if he would have been tackled right away anyway, so yeah, it probably works that he dropped the football, but... Interesting play call there by Coach Nettles as he went into the bag of tricks. Unfortunately, it didn't work.
Again, I like the isolation with Keandre Brooks.
Kinchin to his left. Throws, pass, caught, close to that first down marker, and it looks like he's got enough for a first down. Keandre Brooks has come back after dropping that pass, makes another big catch. That is 3 straight fourth down conversions. This sophomore quarterback, Torres Kinchin, is growing up.
Yeah, and here you go. Good look at Torres Kinchin and Keandre Brooks hooking up on a big fourth down conversion.
What a grab.
Yeah, I mean, Keandre Brooks really shown some athleticism. Of course, he had that big drop, but he has made up for it since then.
First and goal at the 8 now with just over 2 minutes left. Kinchin barking out the signals. High snap, can't handle it. It goes right back to him, though. He's just got to throw it away at this point. To the back of the end zone. Intercepted, and that's your ball game. Oh, he should have just probably thrown it away. Was trying to make a play happen, and it was intercepted by Kari Lowe, and that does it. The Broncos should be able to get the last 2 minutes of the clock to tick off and win this football game on homecoming night.
Yeah, you know, Torres Kinchin just tried to do too much on that play. Like you said, Jeff, he should have just thrown the ball away, lived to fight another down. And here you go. You see him here. Started off with a bad snap. Really, no receivers were open. And at that point right there, just throw the ball away or throw it outside of the back of the end zone. But, again, you can see everybody covered. Zachary makes a big interception. And like you said, that should seal this football game.
Zachary has not played well offensively in the second half, and now they fumble the football. Oh, man. Neil Weiner is not going to be a happy man on how his team has finished off this second half, especially offensively. You got to give a lot of credit to the Broncos defense. They've had to make some plays, and there's going to be a timeout here as Denham Springs will hope to try to get the football back again, but well, you're just trying to run out the clock and you fumble the football.
Well, you wonder if some of these spread teams know how to play under the center. You know, why not just
another low snap?
Yeah, I mean, and they've had trouble snapping the ball. Why not just put Lindsey Scott under the center and get a handoff and hand it to Forest Town or somebody and just run a safe play, particularly with these bad snaps that they've had.
Cox 4 thanks Louisiana Lift for their support of this telecast, specializing in customer service on equipment, rental, parts, and training. Louisiana Lift has been serving its customers since 1980. Check them out online at lalift.com or call their New Orleans area office at 504-463-3400. They're actually going to put some more time on the clock here. It's at 1:41. Their referee is asking to put 6 more seconds on the clock. Not 14 minutes, but there they go, 1:47.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the quarterback under the center is almost becoming obsolete in football. I mean, everything is, you know, out of the spread. Obviously, Denham does it. They still have more of a traditional power game. But, you know, I'm wondering if Zachary even practices with the quarterback under the center ever. I mean, everything's from the shotgun.
Yep. Well, they need a good snap here. And they get a good one, and they hand it off to Forest Town. And Town still on his feet, close to the first down, and I think he's got it to the 30-yard line. He needed 12 yards, and I think he did. Forest Town has ran really well tonight. Glad we got a chance to see him. We missed him in Plaquemine because he had a groin injury, but he has ran the football hard, and he's been big in this football game. Had a touchdown run to...
Yeah, and he's already started dancing a little bit back there. You know, he knows his homecoming night and big dance and everything else. And Forest Town had a big run and started dancing a little bit.
Well, this is their victory formation. Their quarterback does not get underneath center.
So that answers my question. They do not know how to go under center, even in the victory formation. Spread all the way to the end.
Well, following tonight's game, tune to the State Farm Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and simulcasting on 104.9 FM. Host Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy recap scores from all around the state. Listen online as well at 104.5ESPN.com or through the 104.5 Baton Rouge app on your Android or Apple smartphone device. Under 45 seconds here as Zachary will have a great homecoming to celebrate. Coach Neil Weiner will wonder, there's another low snap. They'll definitely be working on that prior to their regular season finale against Broadmoor. It will be likely that Zachary will host a playoff game in the first round, and they deserve it. They had a tough loss to begin the season to Byrd, who's one of the best teams in Class 5A. They've also suffered losses to Scotlandville and Central. Those are three teams ranked in the top 10 in the power ratings. And Neil Weiner's team gets win number 6. Two coaches that have a lot of respect and admiration for each other shake hands. And it was a good football game, Jason.
Yeah, it was. You know, Zachary really showed that, hey, they're coming around, and they have a ton of talent in that backfield now with Lindsey Scott, Forrest Town, Keon Brown. So their offense is really solid. They're picking up a lot of momentum as we're heading into the playoffs. And you know what this means, Jeff, is that the Whiners are going to end up with 3 coolers in one season. You know, that's got to be a record to have 3 coolers in one season.
Let's take a look. Speaking of Farm Bureau, let's take a look at our Farm Bureau game-changing play, and it was towards the end of the first half. Denham Springs had an opportunity here. End of the second. Oh, here the interception here, where Denham Springs had a chance to get it down to 6, and it was intercepted on the play by Kari Lowe.
And look, when we go to Blair this time, I want you to ask my former teammate, what dance is he going to do tonight? He did a dance in Plaquemine. I want to know what dance he's got for us tonight.
All right, let's go down to Blair.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, they're talking about your dancing, Coach. They want to know what kind of dance you're going to do tonight.
I don't know. You know, Baton Rouge, Jig City. I don't know. We had a good jig going last time. We're going to celebrate. It's homecoming dance. I told the guys the only way I'd go is if we win, so I got to go to homecoming dance now.
Oh, man, that's okay. It's worth it. It's worth it. A big win, of course, your 6th win of the season and homecoming. So what does it mean to your team?
It's really special. This season is really, it's been special. We had a lot of guys that had to fight through a lot of adversity, and we're still dealing with it. The season's not over yet. I'm just really proud of them. They've over-exceeded expectations that people had for them, but we believed in them, they believed in themselves, so we're really proud of them.
Well, a big congratulations to you, and we have another cooler for you. So you have 2, another one for the collection, and hopefully you can use it for the rest of the season.
Right.
Congratulations again.
Appreciate y'all. Thank
All right, guys, back to you.
The Whiners are 3-0 on the Cox 4 game of the week. Hopefully we'll get to see them in the postseason as well. Let's take a look at our Contour airing it out play of the game. It was 10-7 at this point, and a big 4th down coming up for Zachary, and Coach Neil Weiner called for the trick play, the halfback pass. One of my favorite plays in all of football. And Keon Brown, a former quarterback for Zachary, does the honors finding DQ Henry, who caught his 2nd touchdown pass of the night on this play.
And you can see why it's one of your favorite plays, because when it's run well, it's very effective, and they think Keon Brown's going to take off with the football, but no, he pulls up, stops, and pops, throws it wide open, DQ Henry, and a big play there for Zachary.
So a nice homecoming win as the Zachary Broncos improve to 6-3. For Denham Springs, they fall to 3-6. They got to win next week against Walker in order to get into the Class 5A playoffs. That will do it for our broadcast tonight. We would like to thank our producer, Jacob Doyle, our director, Walter Volpatti. We would also like to thank the great people at Cox 4, led by Jason Ferret, Eric Coleman, Jim Hogg, and Marlo Layson. Don't forget, more football coming up on Cox 4, the Raging Cajuns Network, as we'll see Louisiana take on New Mexico State for homecoming as the Cajuns go after their 6th straight win of the season. Next week on the Baton Rouge Cox 4 game of the week, we'll have the Capital Lions taking on the Episcopal Knights in a District 6 2A matchup. And our CST game of the week next week will feature 2 of the best teams in 4A, as undefeated and 3rd-ranked St. Thomas More visits 11th-ranked Breaux Bridge. Our final score once again, Zachary 23, Denham Springs 10. So for Blair Abaney, Jason DeQuire, I'm Jeff Palermo. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching the Cox 4 Game of the Week.